Go. The Vaingate Chronicles, episode number 72. At the end of the second age of Sidariel, the Parkard comet struck the sun, splitting it in twain. Then the moon temple of Sehenine immediately after, fracturing it too, this time into 7 broken pieces that now line the sky. The comet then went on to tear an enormous rent in the astral sea and the continent of Tularathian, gouging a fathomless trench all the way to what is now the Angkor Ma'ak Empire. It has long been said that from this rift all evil things came, but that was never entirely true, for evil had existed in one form or another in the hearts of elves, giants, and dragons for thousands of years before that. Another so-called effect of the Parkard strike was the curse that rendered the dwarves of the Banakayan mountain ranges largely infertile, causing 3 of every 4 of their children to be stillborn, made of stone, a curse the dwarves have kept hidden to themselves for centuries, even as their numbers have dwindled. The exact cause of this curse, however, is unknown, and in all the time that has passed, the gods have been beseeched and blamed in turns. Often it is at Moradin's feet, father of the Morden Saman, the dwarven deities, and god of the forge, that the most blame has been laid. Others have blamed the death of Sehenine Moonbow at the hands of the one-eyed god Grumsh, whose avatar was slain and whose soul now resides deep in the abyss. For with her the soul spark of the world was taken, and the sacred feminine, true wisdom, reflection and repose was said to be lost, and with them, at least for the dwarves, fertility and childbirth. The spiritual mother of the elves and caregiver of the other peoples of Sidariel, her gentleness and suppleness of spirit had been a counterpoint to the hardened ways of the patriarchal gods who now remain. Since the beginning of the Third Age thus, the dwarves of the Banakaya have struggled to keep their numbers from falling below acceptable limits, and over the years they have lost a great deal of territory within their once mighty kingdom. They began with 7 shining cities in the deep, but as their numbers fell, Kinhold was the first to be abandoned in a massive exodus known as the First Hagra, a mournful pilgrimage through the hundreds of miles of hostile territory, leaving behind homes, temples, artifacts, and their way of life. The second city to be lost was Mordip Keep, whose Hagra was recorded in the Banakayan inscriptions within the tombs of certain kings. The survivors of that hellish journey divided themselves between the remaining 5 redouts until the next Hagra was sanctioned by the High Queen Rizwind Ovina Lutgar, who brought her people from Vatorum, the southernmost city-state of the dwarves, a once great trading post and city of wonder. Collapsing the main entrance to the mountain ranges, Queen Rizwin retreated to Uthdark Hold, and again the dwarves downsized. Many more pilgrims of the Third Hagra were then slain or captured by the Drow, the Derro, and the Dwaegar, and sold into slavery. Now, of the cities that remain, Uthdark's Hold is the present seat of power and is still ruled by the bloodied warrior queen Rizwin. Berronar Fane, though dwindling, maintains ties to the surface and is still a point of trade with both the elves above and the human barbarian tribes to the west. On the eastern face of the Banakayan ranges, Ragnangar Keep looks out upon the Angkor Ma'ak, allowing passage to the Moonbrook Elves, rangers from Tularathian, by a secure route that cuts through the mountain directly from the Lockhart Valley on the other side. Dumborin, however, is the deepest of the dwarven homes. Here it is, to the great vault of Dumathoin, the dwarven god of the dead, that the mourning parents of the stone children are brought in caskets and long caravans from the other remaining cities and holds of the dwarves. It is to this place that all dwarves eventually come to rest, for it is not until their remains can be brought here that their souls can return to the Morden Saman. Welcome to the Vaingate Chronicles. I'm Russell Kirkby, and I would like to introduce you to Michael Bache, Joanna Grotenhouse, Barry Tahira, and Caitlin Flower.
Hello.
Respectively playing Adric, Darla, Storm this time, and Nyla. How are you guys doing tonight?
We doing?
Living.
Surviving.
Still alive.
I guess we should begin by saying we apologize for last week's lack of a stream and the virtually zero notice. We had a number of issues come up at the last minute, and we had to cancel, basically. So that'll happen from time to time because we don't get paid very much money, if any money.
Such is life.
Such is life. So,
And we're people, not robots, goddammit.
we are people, not robots. That is correct. I do expect robots, but damn it, you can't have everything you want. So,
Beep bop boop.
well, new reading glasses. Anyway,
Exciting. Russell, my camera is a little bit out of frame. Sorry.
your camera's a little bit out of frame, and that's somehow my fault. All right, let me fix Nyla's camera. Well, Adric, why don't you tell us about what you remember, recall, and stuff about your character, and give us an intro and a recap.
Well, we first point of order, we met with a strange and mysterious, wacky dwarf named, giving himself one of two different names. The first of which I don't remember. The second, Wigan, very strange guy. Got picked up by Eagle Nyla and dropped into a river. Amazing.
Right.
Eventually, we got to Berronar Fane. Adric was, in spite of his apprehension, overjoyed to be home, and that was very swiftly stymied by the revelation that he wasn't entirely welcome, and his father dying after he left, followed by the very difficult reunion with his mother, in which he was given the gauntlets that his father and his father's father and fathers for generations before had passed down, seemingly waiting for Adric. Russell, you've gone silent.
Indeed, I was on mute while I was typing stuff furiously. Because it's the last thing you guys want to hear. Joanna, why don't you tell us about your experiences recently?
Right. Well, Dala actually had her first fit in quite some time last episode.
Right.
And she was elated because, well, they are quite inconvenient and she feels like she's a burden on people. And also it's a little bit uncomfortable sort of having to trust the people around you to look after you when you pass out like that. It also means that she got to be in Sahini Moonbow's presence again. So that sort of feeds her soul. And she was so overjoyed when she came to that she kissed Wiggins, planted a big old wet one on him. Goodness. And so that was sort of a big point for her. And then they arrived at Adric's hometown, and she's feeling a little bit cautious, I guess, because she's not ever been in a dwarven town before, right, and not quite sure what to expect.
Right. So you're currently in Kinhold.
Oh, we're in Kinhold. I thought we were in Berronar Fane.
You're right. You're in Berronar Fane. What am I saying? You're in Fane.
Currently in a tavern called the Nodding Kettle.
Nodding Kettle, whom one of our viewers came up with the name, didn't they? Was it
Jordan?
It was Jojo, because he's fabulous.
Right. Well, I've met Jordan on 2 occasions now, once on Zoom and once in real life. And
isn't he fabulous?
He's fabulous, and he's playing a Daughter of Twilight in my new Wednesday night face-to-face campaign.
Amazing.
Which is very cool. And
that is very cool.
He's very engaged and very interested, which I love. That's what I like to see.
Annie Extra has set the first skill check to a 1. Let's start on a good note, folks, is what they've written.
I see. Well, the minimum is 10, so we'll make that a 10.
I'm just wondering if that's a reflection of her skill level.
It might be, actually, considering how often we fail skill trips. I mean, I dropped Wiggins in a river because he freaked out, and Nyla's not used to being in a flying form, so...
In Wiggins' defense, I think, if you've never seen someone transform and suddenly a great big dirty fuck-off eagle swoops down on you, your first reaction is to panic.
I mean... That's fair, but also he had seen me transform into other things beforehand, so he should have been fine. Also, he kept changing his name, so he's not trustworthy or a worthy source of anything. So,
Fair enough.
Wolfskin Witch has redeemed inspiration for Goodale, Nyla, Storm, and Edric.
Wow.
Thank you,
Aw,
Wolfskin
yay.
Witch.
Already redeemed
Hell yeah.
inspiration. Nice.
On a good note.
So, Nyla, I guess you kind of touched on a lot of stuff there. Do you want to fill us in on your character's perspective right now?
Nyla's just learned that she can transform into things that fly, so she's very excited by that.
Right.
She transformed into a ferret and hid in Edric's collar while he went and spoke with his mother in a very touching moment. And then he connected with a family heirloom, which sent lightning down his thing, and he dealt a hit point of damage to her and just sprang off a Nyla.
Right. So Nyla kind of sprang off his shoulder from ferret form into
She
Nyla
got
form.
electrocuted, basically. You know, have you ever touched an electric fence and you're just like walking up,
Yeah, it's not
pretty
fun.
much what happened.
Right.
And then she was about to throw down with his mother if she insulted Edric, but luckily she didn't. And then we went and met up with Darla and Storm in the Nodding Kettle.
The Nodding Kettle. Okay.
And she sent some dwarvish children on a wild goose chase following some, was it mushrooms or flowers that she sent out the door?
Right.
Either way, the children that were annoying Storm because he's a big cat man, she sent out of the tavern and then locked the door behind them because
Right.
she was like, all right, enough of that.
That's right.
He's
Because
the cat man.
Exactly. So, Storm, Barry, what's your perspective?
Storm is in the kettle that was just mentioned.
The Nodding Kettle.
The Nodding Kettle. He's in the Nodding Kettle wondering what the cat lord is doing to him.
Right.
And what did he do to get in this mess?
Right.
And why am I with these strange beings? And if that child touches my tail again, I'm gonna eat her.
Fair enough.
But fortunately, someone got rid of the child, so therefore the child is not eaten. But he is kind of amazed and wondrous because he's never seen anything like this before.
Right. Well, quick note, the reason you might notice Barry doesn't have a banner up above him, and that's because I failed to make one because I forgot. So, sorry. Just saying.
It's all right, we'll forgive you.
I'll just be back in 1 second. You guys can chat among yourselves for just 2 seconds.
right.
Right, so what's the plan then?
Got a few more things to do before we can do what we came here to do. I've just got to go and see my old man's grave.
His grave.
Aye.
Okay.
Well, where he's resting for now. He's due to go to Dunboyne first. Oh, last rather. He can't rest and be returned to the Soul Forge until.
Please don't tell me we have to plan another bloody funeral. Just
No,
never,
there's no
again.
There's no planning involved with
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's taken care of by the clerics. He's just got to get taken there. Man, I don't know what's happening with that.
Right. Surely all his paperwork is in no order.
It's been 2 years. I think that's the case.
He's been dead for 2 years and he still hasn't been laid to rest. That's a really long time to be just sitting
it's-
shiver. Like what's happening?
There's a procedure. Usually, my people are slow moving, which is why I left under the conditions I did.
Right. Okay.
There's also the small matter of Adric's mother not being able to pay for the ceremony and not being able to pay for the journey either. Because typically you need a bunch of guards and some clerics to go with you. You know, and you're talking about a couple of 100 gold to make that happen.
Right.
Not every family can afford to do that, so the ones that can't afford to do so, they tend to sort of bandwagon with some other people who are traveling in that direction. So they form a caravan, and so you might have one individual who might be a noble, and so they sort of wait for several months or even years until they have the money and the provisions and so on to make this happen. And in this case, Adric, your mother has been waiting for some time now to do this, and with no end in sight, to be honest.
Right, so the electrum I left in the corner of a room should help speed that process along.
Oh,
Theoretically.
Nyla, did you? That's lovely.
Sneakily, she didn't know it was me. It just appeared out of nowhere. As far as she knows, gift from the gods.
Well done.
We'll need to go that way anyway. That's where the vault is.
Quick question, Adric, are
You mean the...
wearing these gauntlets yet, or are they still in the
Yeah.
box? You are.
I've put them on immediately.
Okay,
That's why I got fried.
right. Yeah. I just wondered whether he was still wearing them or he was just trying them on.
No, on.
They're on and they're staying on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, just as a side note, then every now and again when you touch something, there will be electricity, electric shocks, static discharges, people getting zapped for 1 hit point of damage.
Ow!
Especially
Ooh,
if they happen
fun.
to be fed.
God damn it, Edric. Watch where you put those things.
Static on stone.
Adric,
Aye.
and earlier today when we had that strange fellow, Rothbrook?
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Wiggins, you made out
Yes.
with him.
I heard my name.
Oh,
Where
Jesus.
did you come from?
I've been
Well,
here
I mean-
all the time. I was sitting in the corner having this ale.
You definitely weren't here
Alright.
the whole time because you disappeared.
Mighty
You've
fine
made
ale
us-
it is too, by the way, I must say, here in Berronar, Fane.
Yes, I'm so glad to see you, Wiggins. I was meaning to ask you about that thing you said about Sehanine, Moonbow.
What did I say about Sehanine?
Well, you said
wouldn't have said a thing about Sehanine,
she'd
surely.
failed the dwarves.
Did I say that? Oh, well, I must be mistaken. I don't know. I don't know Sehanine personally or anything like that. How could I know something like that? I mean, that's obviously outside of my
Right.
provision.
Oh, I see. Such a curious statement.
It's quiet around here, isn't it?
It is now the children are gone.
Oh, the children are gone too.
Well, they're not
They-
gone. They just went that way.
Oh,
they followed
yes,
some
the
flowers.
children are gone. I
People,
remember now.
most people are quite patient with children, seeing how few there are.
It's I thought the streets were quite quiet too,
Aye.
and dim.
Aye.
Not so much light as last time I was here. The place was lit up like we had the festival of the Morden Salmon. What a mighty feast that was.
There's been few occasions for that to happen. In the time that 60, 70 some years that I was here,
Aye.
we didn't really have that too many times.
When was the last time you were here, Wiggins?
Oh, last time I was here, I would say probably tomorrow.
Nyla just sucks on her teeth and takes a drink.
So, what are your plans then?
Uh,
You must have some plans, Adric. It's
I have a
Adric, isn't
funeral
it?
procession at the moment.
If I've picked up on everything correctly. Your name is
Aye.
Adric. Adric
Aye.
Fogdar.
Aye.
Adric Fogdar. Yes, I recall.
I've introduced myself to you, Wiggins.
You did. By that pit, wasn't it?
Aye, as soon as we got you out of it, aye.
I was in that pit.
You were in
Aye.
that pit, aye.
You claimed it was your home.
Oh, yes, it was my home for a while. Yes, that's right. I remember now.
I've, well,
Oh my
While
god, what are you? In the name of Moradin and Dumathoin, you are a huge cat.
That's very rude to say.
you've met him before.
You were in the pit together.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you climbed out, didn't you? Straight up the wall. My dexterous bastard, aren't you?
So our plan, I've got to go and see my dad, and then we've got to go and get permission from the council to go to Dumathoin to lay out artifacts in there, keep them safe. And while we're here, I may as well try to see if we can get what remains of the Dwarven army on our side to help with the Berronar.
That's a great idea. I like that
Yes.
idea.
Would
I'll
you
be able
guys
to get
like-
some Sons of Moradin, do you suppose?
Aye, if we can.
Excellent.
So out of
Russell.
game, those of you that know, the Sons of Moradin are a mercenary outfit. That's all dwarves. Can I get perception checks from everybody, please?
Certainly.
Remember, it's a 10 because it's a skill check.
Take that into account.
16.
Yeah.
8.
Oh, Adric. Okay, well that's appropriate.
24.
Yeah, I'm still kind of emotional, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Barry, I guess I will chuck a dice for you there, mate. Doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Oh, did you want me to run Barry again?
If you can, that would be awesome. Have you got,
Can you send me the PDF of his thingy?
have you lost
and then I can
it
do that.
again?
I didn't get it last time.
You didn't
I
get
just rolled dice.
Okay, hold on a moment. Please hold the line. How do I do this? Here we go. Exporting to a PDF.
I would dearly love to have a bath, actually.
Now, I'll post it in the Zoom chat if I can. Hopefully it won't
Sure.
wreck the stream.
I'm sure we can stay at an end. I wouldn't.
Did that work?
Yes.
Excellent. Is it open?
I wouldn't prevail upon my my mother and cousin.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's just it's been a few days and I've fallen into the
It's
river
openable.
twice.
I'll do this
And a pit.
this check for
And a
Storm,
pit.
just so you have time to figure out the PDF, okay? So one moment, we're doing a perception check for Storm.
He got a
Oh,
13.
You got a 13. Okay, cool. All right. So everybody except Adric hears a number of people and feet coming towards the entrance to the nodding kettle, and as the doors come open, and then you hear a voice call out across the din of the tavern. Adric Fogdar, you bastard!
Here we go.
Friends?
And,
Enemies?
and
What
who
is
might
this?
be calling me?
You turn around, and you are confronted by Megliar, your wife.
Ah,
And she's just stormed in with several cousins and faces that you see behind you. I heard you were here. You come back, you shit.
I
She
have.
immediately picks up a glass off the nearest table, a cup rather, and throws it at you. You can make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm
can
not going
guidance-
to avoid it.
You don't know it's coming. You can't guide it.
Damn it.
You don't avoid it.
No, I'm going to take it.
Can Goodell mage hand it away?
Just let him take it. Let him take it. He wants to
okay.
take
I
it.
think it's a bit
Alright,
too
alright.
late for that. 15 to hit.
It
Hits your
it doesn't
armor.
hit. It hits my armor. Yeah, it doesn't hurt me. It just splashes across the armor.
Yeah, and the cup hits you. It cracks the terracotta cup that she's tossed at you, and ale goes splashing across you, your shield, your face, your beard, your chest, etc. Where have you been, Adric Fogdar?
On the surface.
Oh, the surface. Oh, well, I hope that makes it all right then. She comes storming through, pushing past. She literally just pushes a heavy table to the side. It moves as she slides it out.
I'm
of the
going to
way.
grab Darla's shoulder and move like 5 steps back and then just start drinking.
What's Storm doing during this?
You muted, Barry.
Storm is just gonna sit where he is and mind his own business.
All right.
Alice got her tea.
Bella's got a
We're
tea.
sitting with our ale. Just like, oh yeah, this is great.
All right. So where have you been on the surface then, Adric? What you been doing?
Vaingate,
Humans.
all
then.
over.
I see.
I've been working.
Working.
I've been trying to find a way to fix it.
I'm not sure there's a way to fix it, Adric. You left us in the lurch. You left us in humiliation and dishonor and shame.
I know.
Why'd you do it, Adric?
I couldn't stay. I needed to do something.
Oh, yes. And have you done
You-
something then? A number of
think I have.
humans in Vaingate, no doubt.
No. No one since. No one since.
I see. And have you got any money?
I've got some. Aye.
Oh, that's good. Perhaps you'll spare some for your family.
It's not like you did anything to keep me here. You turned me away every time I came to your doors.
Perhaps we should talk in private, Adric.
Should we?
She comes up to you. I don't know what to say to you anymore. I'm not sure I can stand the sight of you.
I'm sure you had 2 years to figure it out.
She looks you up and down. What's Nyla thinking right now?
Nyla's just loving this. She wants some popcorn. She's just having a good old lol, but she's also like ready to jump in if things get more than this civilish domestic.
Fair enough.
Nala's horrified. She can't believe it because the man that Mugli is describing is so different to how she sees Adric, and also she can't believe that Adric would go to the surface without letting her know. So she's just like gobsmacked.
Right. She looks at you for a long moment, Adric, and looks you up and down. You do seem different, though, I must say, Adric. What's
I've
so
been
different?
working hard.
What have you been doing?
Research, hunting, following leads where I could find them.
What are you trying to do?
Bring them back.
Oh, Adric. Surely. It's too late for that.
Oh, sounds like you gave up long time ago.
What else could I do? You left me in the lurch.
You could have come with me. Any of the times I came knocking.
I couldn't come with you. I couldn't leave Berronar Fane. My family are here. All of our families are here. It's not done.
I was your family. You could have come with me. We could have figured it out. But there's nothing below ground for us.
What did you think we were going to do? Go and supplicate ourselves in front of the gods and they were going to come down from Mount Celestia and help us restore our child?
The opposite, in fact. I turned my back on Moradin to go find answers.
And how did that go? Have you found any?
You found Moradin.
Shut up.
She turns to you, Nyla, and gives you this look like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she turns
Nyla.
back to Adric. Go on. Tell me more about these adventures of yours, and who are these companions you've brought here? What the hell is that? In the name of the 9 hells, what is that?
In his defense, he's new.
We liberated him from the Forge Gates.
You've been to the Forge Gate.
Aye, we chased the Dweger out. It's important.
A number of the other dwarves in the room cheer. Hey, Adric Fogdar chased out the Darrow from the Forge Gate. Go tell Rizwin now. Some of them leave to go and do that.
We were on our way. We're involved in a lot, Miglaya. There's a war above ground that's going to make its way below.
I see.
We already encountered some of their forces below in the Forge Gates. So, going to sue for an audience with the Queen, try to get a contingent, take it above ground. It's about time we join the rest of Sedario. No more hiding.
You're bringing their war to us.
Their war is coming to us. And I'd rather stand shoulder to shoulder with humans and elves than wait for it in our holes.
I see. So, out of game, do you remember your cousin? Whose
Yes,
name
I've got
was
Gilthor.
Gilthor. Yeah.
Gilfor.
A soldier comes running in from the guard and goes over to Gilthor and as Gilthor looks around slightly bemused. What? He says, "I'll be back, Adric. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone."
I already came back.
Huh. Yeah. I'll be back. And he gets up and he leaves with the guard. A couple of others follow him out. The tavern's about half empty now.
It's nice to see you again.
Yes, I have to admit, Adric, I have missed you. I have missed you.
Aye.
Come here, Adric.
He embraces her.
She puts her arms around you and puts her head against your chest. You seem somehow bigger. As wrong as that sounds, that is your dirty minds projecting.
No, like that's
Nigel,
not,
this
that's
took a turn.
That's Adric laughing. Like in the, if only you knew.
Nyla's laughing in the window.
Fair enough.
She's giggling. She's having her ale. She's having a great time.
Vala gets out a book to try to at least look like she's not listening.
Okay.
She's trying not to listen.
I know, I know I left you when it was hardest. How have you been? What have you been busy with?
It's been hard, Adric. We've not been allowed in the temple for a while. Not that we can't go, but it's frowned upon.
No, I don't think they were impressed when I barged in last time.
Aye, they seem to have a bit of a thing against us Fogdars now. But that might change. It sounds like you've done some hero's work.
Killed a dragon. What's that?
You killed a dragon, Adric.
Tell her your new title.
What dragon?
Ilgarax Bean.
Ilgorax. Was that the dragon?
Large,
I've not heard of that dragon, but was he mighty?
Large whiten. It had,
And now.
it was aye. And
Where
it's
was that? Was that in Vaingate?
No, far up north. It was in what was it? Where was it, Nyla?
Elkinard.
In
Belcanard.
Aye, and I'd kidnapped the Queen of Vaingate.
Floresca.
She
So
looks
one of
back
our
at you,
friends
Nyla.
is...
Who's this? Who keeps interrupting you?
Sorry, I'm Nia Lauren. Nice to meet you.
These and I take her hand and I bring her to them. Guys, fellows, this is my wife, Miglaya. This is gestures at Storm. This is Storm, Dala, and Nyla.
Greetings. I'm so nice to meet you, Storm. She bows a little bit in front of you, Storm. You are a mighty creature, I see.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure to meet you also.
Oh, we can talk.
Strange mating. Never seen a mating like that.
You should see the weddings.
Oh,
And Nyla, did you say?
Nia Lauren.
I see. I'm Meglier, as Adric said, wife and... yes, obviously, not much more to say there.
It's nice to meet you.
You are some sort of elf? She briefly looks at Dala as well.
So I'm from Hemith Terrace. It's very nice to meet you, Maglia.
Oh, not so far away then, Hemith Tirith. Not been there myself, but I hear it's very beautiful and shines in the sun.
Yes, I think it's lovely. I prefer Vaingate, though.
Truly. Why would that
You'd
be?
love Vaingate. Yeah, you'd love it.
Really, it sounds like it's... I've not seen much of the sun, to be fair with you. Or the suns, because Sidariel has two sons.
It takes a bit of getting used to.
It's very bright and occasionally they shoot meteors at you.
What?
But you'd probably love it. You should come with us, perhaps.
I'm kidding. Although they are quite bright.
So you say there's going to be a war, Adric?
Aye. It's it's off the borders of Vaingate now. Well, the start of one.
Oh, how fearsome. And who's this war between then?
Well, currently, the Barakyle wizards, the Chara Sith, they're all
The Winter Queen.
well. The Winter Queen gave an army to Nyla.
What?
Terrible decision. Terrible.
She,
Is it here? Did you bring an army here?
It's currently outside of Vaingate, making preparations for when the Barakyle marches on it to try and take it. We're kind of on a side mission. We've got a couple of artifacts we need to get rid of.
aye, we've got a crown of a lich that we need to hide from the Barakyle. They need 3 of them to we don't know what, but we need to keep them away.
Do something
And-
terrible.
And I'm also intending to hide the Mask of Moradin in the vault.
You have the Mask of Moradin?
Aye, we found it on a scouting mission.
Like I said, we found Marden. Mask of.
She looks at you quizzically and a little confused and a little bit fearfully too. I see.
Like I told you, I've been busy.
Your man fought most fiercely. You would have been very impressed, I'm sure.
Stop. It's fine.
Well, I suppose, we should feast. Would you like to come back to our house?
I'd like to be home.
Do you want to bring your friends with you? Your companions?
No, they can stay here.
I elbow Adric.
Okay, this one can come.
I elbow him again.
Okay, they can all come.
All right. So
As long as you'll have us. I mean, we would hate to impose.
And only if there's room.
No, come. Let's have a dwarven feast. It's about time you lot had some real food.
Gilthor comes back in again quite hurriedly. Adric,
Aye.
were you followed?
Where's Wiggins gone?
Not that I know of.
Wiggins
We did bring an older dwarf named Wiggins with us.
That's me. I'm Wiggins. Yes.
Still there.
Yes.
Watching
I'm
you.
Wiggins. Did you need me for something?
No, just making sure you're still
No.
there.
I don't want to lose you again.
What do you mean lose me again? You can't lose Wiggins.
I'll keep that in mind. Why, what's happening, Gilthor?
He says there's a wee contingent at the gates asking to come in.
The contingent of what?
Well, that's the strange thing, Adric. There are a number of goblins and I think an ogre among them. They're looking for a safe haven.
They're asking to come in?
Would you come and talk to them? They say they were
Aye.
following a dwarf and some elves and some others down here. That you said they freed them from their cages some way back.
Aye, we did. They were being maliced, but beyond that, we'd left them to their own devices.
I
There's
see.
some
Well,
goblins.
they followed you here and they want a way in. Do you know it? Can you vouch for them? Goblins at our gates. Is this an invasion?
I can't vouch for them, but
Let's go have a look. Let's
Aye.
go talk. Let's go see.
aye.
All right.
Do you remember liberating goblins and orcs? Did we do this?
Yeah, we did that about 2 or 3 sessions back.
Right. Okay.
I will.
Oh, it was
I
the
will-
one you weren't here for.
was the
It's
one
when
that-
you were a wolf.
It's like, when did that happen?
Yeah, you were a wolf during that.
Okay.
That was
Oh.
the first half of the City of Aberrations episode.
They've been following us that long? They followed us through the City of Aberrations?
They probably took the long way around.
That's that's why they've taken this long.
I will look at my food that I ordered. Look at them. Look at the food. Look at them.
You can
Storm, you
stay
can-
and finish your food if you want.
Okay, Storm. You look very hungry.
Have a cat
can-
nap.
You can meet us once you've finished up. No rush. This shouldn't take long.
Okay. All right.
So, Gilthor leads you down through Berronar Fane's poorest districts up through to near the temple district, and the temple itself is just built into the side of the mountain, and you can see all these archways and pillars lining the outside of the cavern, and within that is the actual temple.
I'll be back in a minute.
Very well.
How convenient.
How convenient. And thusly, 1 second. Yep, good. Just checking some things. Thusly, you're taken back to the front gates whence you came. And as you go through the city, you kind of may realize that the tavern seems to be the most gregarious location here that you've come across so far. Everything else has this kind of mournful sense, this tone of sadness and nostalgia and even fear.
Just to be an asshole, Nyla to Darla's going to put a gold coin in her hand and say, I bet you Adric gets laid in the next 24 hours. Keep walking.
All right. So you get to the guard towers at the gate, and Gilthor takes you up inside the guard tower. Now who's here right now? Is it just Adric, or did anyone else?
Adric, Nyla, and Darla.
Okay.
And probably his wife.
I don't think Rizwan will come. She might stay at the tavern, to be honest.
Okay.
You mean
Megara.
Megara?
Maglaya.
Sorry. Yes. Why am I saying Rizwan? Queen Rizwan. So she's on my mind because I've been writing the intro today, so that's why I've been thinking about it. Okay, so you get inside the guard tower and you look down from the parapets down into the cavernous exterior of the city, where the chamber narrows to the side of a gorge and falls away. One side is the gorge and the other side is this huge steep cliff that goes up into the darkness. Where there be spiders, you hear. In any case, standing outside the gates is this contingent of probably about 20, 25 individuals. Most of them are very small and diminutive, with pale green skin and so forth. Two of them appear to be giants, the size of ogres. One of them is bigger than the other. And they're sort of standing there and in their ragtag clothes. They don't seem to have any weapons of any real value. They've got a few sticks and stones and things. Besides that, they look like they've come out of a cave painting. And they seem to be standing there patiently, despite the guards that they're not surrounding them, but there's a phalanx of dwarves near them with their short-handled pikes. Well, that's them, says Gilthor. Do you know them? Do you make a investigation check?
Okay.
All of us?
Sure.
Edric got a 7, so
5.
21.
21. All right. Well, Darla, you have a thing for faces, I suppose, especially since you've been slowly discovering that not all orcs are evil and not all goblins are evil either, and so now you're sort of...
And they don't all look the same.
They don't all look the same, exactly. Remarkable, isn't it? And thusly, you noticed some of these goblins seem familiar from the goblins in the fuck cages that you smashed open on your way past their little township, their little village up in the caverns above.
Gross.
On your way down here. You don't recognize the ogres, however, and one of them looks like they might be a half ogre rather than a full ogre. They're not as big as the other, and yeah.
Do they look familiar to you?
not
Yes. Yes, some of the goblins I recognize from that time when you were stuck as a wolf.
Oh, right. Different point of vision, very low to the ground.
Shall
See
we
that
go
shorter,
speak to them?
Can I sniff the air? Do they smell similar?
Do they smell them?
Do they smell familiar?
Well, at this point, you are like 120 feet away from them.
This is true.
Quite high up, looking down on them from above at the top of a wall, among the parapets. There are, incidentally, there are a number of dwarven crossbowmen up here as well, with heavy crossbows ready to put holes in them at any moment.
Well, the best thing we can do is maybe go talk to them.
Perhaps. I know you're much better at trusting people than I am, Adric, but it does occur to me that some of the individuals in that area did attack us.
Aye, Adric, you have to get rid of them. You can't have ogres and goblins and Berronar Fane. It's not done. You have to get rid of them.
Hasn't been done before. But
oh, yes, but clearly these monstrous entities from the depths can't be let in here.
Well, that's a bit racist.
they're not attacking. They've come to ask for me. The least I can do is listen.
Well, Adric, I'll tell you what. You go and talk to them, and if anything shall befall this city on behalf of these goblins,
we'll take care of it if it does.
You make a promise on the name of your goddess for that.
Well, if someone attacks here while we're here, we're going to defend it.
Aye, aye.
How about this? I promise on the stone corpse of my child, if anything befalls at their hands, I'll end it.
I'll take that, Adric. I'll take that.
Right, let's go talk to the goblins.
All right.
Down we go.
So you
Down we go.
down the stairs, through the guard tower, to the gate.
Gala's having flashbacks to holding a goblin baby last time they tried to talk with goblins.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Right.
Hi.
And as you slip out through the gate, they open a little crack in the gate for you to get through. And the goblins sort of, they straighten up a bit. And one of them comes forward. Looks like a female.
Greetings. Do you speak Undercommon? He says in Undercommon.
She nods. Ingora.
Ingora, how can I help you?
Yes, you save us. You are our mercy savior. Help us. We must.
I couldn't leave you in there. It's quite all right.
We run, we follow.
Aye.
Who are the friends?
Many lost coming. We follow you here.
What are they saying?
Safe haven.
They've been following us, and they've lost many fellows. They're here looking for a safe haven.
Yes, safe haven.
Is there space for them? It seems to me that space is a little bit at a premium here.
There is nothing but space.
Oh, okay.
And what would you must and he turns to Angora.
Yeah.
You must understand that my people are a little apprehensive.
What that mean?
They're a little cautious.
Racist.
We are a little too.
They're afraid that you might be dangerous.
Oh, they fear us. She turns and speaks in actual goblin to the others now for a minute. You see the half ogre shift on its feet. Ooh. And he steps forward a little bit, and you see his face is quite smashed up. He's got scars and things, and he looks like he's been burned, and half of his face is gone, missing. He's got bristly
How much
hair
taller
on
than
his
us are the ogres?
The ogres, they're about, I think they're like 12 feet high, something like that.
Can I go over with my hands like this?
Yeah.
Adric, can you tell him that I'm just going to heal his face?
Adric,
It's too
Good
late
idea.
for that. It's
It's
healed.
scarred. It's
yeah.
oh, okay. I assumed it was bloody, and I was just like, let me heal it.
But what you do notice, Nyla, is that it is certainly, you would say that it was the results of some serious brutality on someone's part in the past. It looks inflicted and purposeful damage.
Adric says in Giant to the ogre, And what happened to earn you those mighty injuries, friend?
Me slave. Learn to follow.
So you're a hard worker then?
Worker, yes. Strong lift.
And you're looking for a new home?
Home. Sleep. Very tired now.
Can I insight check them? Are they full of shit?
Yeah, Adric's also going to insight check them. He wants this to be okay, though.
All right.
Right, but Nyla and I can't understand.
I
what
can't
they're
understand,
saying.
but I'm looking at
You can make your insight
body
checks with
language, seeing
Oh, okay.
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
Also-
That's fair.
Joe, you can speak giant, remember?
Yes.
The ogre,
true, so you-
ogre was speaking in giant to me.
Right.
Ah,
so you can
okay,
understand
cool.
the
Right.
ogre.
That's a 10 for Adric.
I'm going to use my could I use my inspiration to make it a flat roll? I've already rolled. It's fine. Never mind.
Is it
9.
insight? Oh, insight.
Adric,
Was it insight?
I think that due to your desire for them to be, for this to be kosher, you can't tell. It's clouding your judgment.
Yeah.
That's fair. I rolled a 2.
A 2. Nyla clearly has no clue.
Hey, that's
whether-
not bad.
It's a 2 plus 7 for a 9 because it disadvantage, but it's fine.
Goodale, why are you rolling with advantage?
Does I understand giant?
No, just a flat roll if you
It'll be
understand giant.
flat.
Oh, right. Sorry. Sorry.
Mine's
Roll
disadvantage
again.
because I can't understand shit.
That's a 9.
Hey, high five!
Okay.
Right. Sorry, guys.
well,
nobody really knows anything.
In this case, I'm going to choose to trust them.
Okay.
Okay. He turns back to Ngora.
Am I there yet, Russell?
Did you follow them here? I thought you were.
You
in
were
the
eating your
tavern.
food.
Yeah, I ate my food, but have I even bothered to leave yet?
Up to you. Do you want to be here?
Yep, if it's all right.
Sure. You follow along, and you just tag along behind the group a little bit back,
Okay.
a little bit stealthily.
Shit, where did you get here?
I think maybe Adric's wife will have come with you, and she's
To
asked
bring him
you
here.
She's asked you a few questions along the way, by the way, about yourself, and you may or may not have had a chance to say anything. She wants to know
Okay.
where you're from, and you tell her Ixtlan, and she asks you what happened to your homeland, and you tell her about the volcano, I suppose.
Yep,
That makes
tell
sense.
about it.
Yeah.
And my entire family's wiped out. And
Right. So
Yeah.
you're looking for your friend Smoke. Do you tell her about Smoke?
yep, yeah, I tell her about smoke.
Okay. All right. So you get to the gates and you slip out, and now you can be part of this scenario. Okay. So you speak.
Roll my perception.
Sure. Is this insight or perception? You haven't been here long enough to
Sorry.
gain any insight.
Either one.
13.
And that
For
was
perception.
That was perception. Okay. Well, you can see them all there, certainly. You haven't been here long enough to get an insight check off them because you haven't heard them yet talking. You don't know what's going on, but you can ask Adric or one of the others.
He speaks Undercommon. Just FYI,
That
Barry, he
is
speaks
good.
Undercommon.
Okay, so you will understand what Adric understands, but you won't understand the ogre. Okay, go on.
I'll turn to Ngora. Okay. I will vouch for you.
Yes.
However, until I get an answer, you're going to have to camp out in front of the gates.
Yes, great dwarf lord. Yes, you must
None-
have name.
Just Adric.
Adric. Yes.
That'll do. Aye.
Adric. It's Adric. And everyone calls out, Adric, Adric. Even the ogre. Adric.
And Adric pats his knee. Aye, friend. Aye, in giant.
Friend.
Okay.
Right.
They seem friendly enough.
Adric.
Aye?
We very cold here. Need food.
I'll send for some blankets and food.
Yes, yes. Food. Good. Fire.
Is there any wood or anything around?
Wood is tends to be replaced with other things like dried mushrooms and other strange Underdark types of things. There's not a lot of wood in the Underdark, but occasionally there are tree roots that come down this far, but it's pretty uncommon. But there are things to burn, including manure.
Gross. Is there a place that would work for them to sort of camp out by the gate?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of just to the side of the gate. Yeah, there's a bit of space there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
On the opposite side of the road to the chasm.
Yeah, not in the chasm itself.
Not in the chasm, just over to the wall. All right.
It's a wide road,
Okay.
especially at this point. There's room enough here to assemble a small army, or a few platoons if necessary, and oftentimes there'll be wagons and things out here. Right now there are a couple of wagons, but they seem to be abandoned old wagons. Well, in fact, Adric, you remember that once upon a time there was a market out here that's been closed for decades.
As we've dwindled.
Yes.
Okay. So they've agreed to wait out here for us. They're cold, they're hungry, so I'll ask to have some simple provisions brought to them, and I'll see if we can put them to work.
Right.
But they're all sleeves.
So when we set them free from those cages, they...
Followed us.
Right.
Aye, through dangerous terrain, and I get the feeling they wouldn't have done so if they didn't have any better options.
Storm, as you're observing the group of goblins and the couple of ogres, you notice one of them has a sharpened, pointy stick, and on the end of that, it's not so much sharpened as they seem to have affixed a stone to the end of it with some kind of twine. And this one has a few scars too, but he carries himself as if he's a little bit more confident than most of the others. And he's managed to pull together a little bag and a few other bits and pieces that look like he's made them himself, perhaps, or self-made, homemade, however you want to describe that. You just get the impression that he carries himself more like a ranger.
That one over there
Aye.
Yes.
carries himself like a ranger. More confident than the rest.
So he knows the terrain well.
I would say so.
So he could be useful.
He has a bag of something.
Okay. Do you want to ask him about what's in it?
He walks over to the man.
They, as you approach, they all stand up and step back. Now, at this point, I don't think Storm was part of the party when you came across the goblins the first time.
No.
So they have never seen you before. And they cower back towards the wall. Even the one that you think might be a ranger cowers away from you, and he's got a spear, but he's not pointing it at you, but he's got his spear ready just in case you decide to start taking them all out with your claws.
Edric's gonna shout over an undercommon. Have no fear. He's with me.
Ingora says, "What he want?
He wants to speak to your soldier with the spear.
Can talk us?"
Aye.
He can speak Undercommon.
Oh, I don't know if he's actually said it to us, and I'm gonna ask Storm. Storm, can you speak to them?
Yes.
But I address him in undercommon so he can answer, so they can hear.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I can speak that language.
a quick out-of-game brief here about languages. Every area has their own language. Every species has their own language. Common and undercommon are basically like pigeon trade languages. They're really good for buying stuff, really good for finding your way around, really good for asking directions, really shit at poetry, right? Really bad for singing. I mean, there are songs and poetry in common and undercommon, but they're rough and they sound kind of. They don't have a lot of musicality to these languages. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Thank you, Da Crazy Willie, for inspiration for Nyla. Just gonna break in there.
All right. So, Storm, you approach, and this one looks up at you, and Ingora comes across to him and says something in Goblin to him, which I don't know. Do you speak Goblin? Happen to speak Goblin?
No, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
He speaks Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Undercommon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And she says something to him in Goblin, and she looks up at you. What you want?
I want to speak to him.
He no speak this. He speak only tribe.
Ask him if he's a ranger.
Yes, he ranger.
Has he been a ranger for this area?
From our tribe place back far. When you find us, oh, not you, you not there, you not see. The ranger shifts on his feet a little. He named Tagrim.
So, he was imprisoned with you, was he?
He help us. He set
help us.
free some, save our life. He in big trouble now. Overlord want him be dead. Betray us, betray him. I mean betray Overlord.
Understood. So what you are saying is... he's a brave man.
Very brave, yes. He find food and root and berry things eat coming this way.
On your journey here, what did you see of any note?
Big river nearly kill us. 5 died. Hold hands to cross. Very difficult way.
Did he lead you?
Yes.
I see. That is all. Thank you.
He give up much food for us, for children to live.
Are there children among their number?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
That definitely would have swayed Adric's
Yeah.
decision.
That's some information, some pertinent information there.
Well, how about we say that they weren't so apparent, they were hiding behind the adults
Okay,
and what have you.
fair enough.
And now
That
they're
makes sense.
Starting to sort of split out from that. Apologies for not bringing up
Tell
the
the-
detail.
Oh, you're good.
Tell the children they can come out safely from behind you.
She says something in goblin tongue, and they start to sort of shift out, and you see them looking up at you.
And tell him he has my respect.
She tells him, and he nods fearfully, still looking at you.
He backs out backwards. He doesn't turn and go away. He backs out backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he stands by his companion.
All right.
Right. Okay. There's children. Wait, we should get them inside as soon as we can.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. But there's a protocol, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go and see if I can find some like mushrooms or something to make like a little campfire for them.
Okay.
Nyla,
Yes.
I know we had a plan for the jug of arcana, but
Alchemy.
perhaps alchemy. Sorry, thank you. Perhaps I should use it to pour out some milk for the children.
That's a great idea.
Yes, I'll do that.
Do you have cups and things, vessels for that type of business?
I don't think I do.
You're not
I
carrying
probably have
around
like
a tea set
probably
in your
I
bag
have
of holding or something?
I do have a tea set, but I don't know how many cups I've
Can
got.
I druid craft some little cups?
Out of like inverted mushrooms.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you can make a survival check to see if you can find some wood for your fire and make a fire. Given that it's the Underdark, I'm going to make you do that at disadvantage.
I'm going to use my inspiration, make it a straight roll, so that's 22.
Hey.
Cheeky. All right.
Aha.
Very well. So use your
And then
inspiration.
Druid I can make like a flower blossom or a seed pod open. So if there's like any little like acorns or something, just
Yeah, not a lot of that sort of
Druidcraft them.
business around. It's pretty bleak around here.
What about mud, like clay?
There's
Will that be
not a lot of water, so it's underground, so it's dry, and you can hear water down in the chasm.
What about from my
but
canteen?
You could
The
bring
water from the canteen
water
and
from
mix
the
it in.
canteen, water from the jug of alchemy would also
Yeah.
be possible, I suspect.
Please, Russell, let us be nice to the baby goblins.
While
Have any cups? Sorry.
while they're doing this, I'm gonna go talk to the
I've
to
got the
guards.
one cup because I've taken my mead from the tavern with me. I've just been drinking it this whole time.
Well, out of game, you'd also each have a cup of your own,
Yeah,
Yeah,
in our
yeah.
packs.
Right. I'll
Yeah,
get
so
out my
I'll-
tea set.
and it's not like you live in a world that is highly conscious of germs
Hygiene.
and hygiene. So,
No.
It's more like the Vikings that
Awesome.
like spit in the cup and pass it on, and that is a good thing.
Gross.
You know.
Anyway, alchemy, feeding the children things,
All right. So you're feeding the children.
Pouring milk.
creating a
Milk.
campfire because I've got a 22 on survival check.
Very
And-
well.
Come on, children. Tea party time.
And
Yep.
Storm will sit down
Mm-hmm.
a little way from the children, but where they can hear him,
Yep.
and he will start to tell them stories of the Cat Lord.
In Undercommon.
Yeah,
Okay, and what's her face will translate them into Goblin because not all of them speak Undercommon,
okay,
right?
okay.
Okay, so you sit down to do that. Very good. Meanwhile,
Adric's gone to go speak to the guards.
all right. So you go back and you find Gilthor,
Yeah.
right?
Is Gilthor a guard captain? Like
is.
like Kilvar?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So they're refugees.
What does that mean to us?
They're looking for a place to live. Like, we've got empty houses. Let them set up.
You serious, Adric?
Aye.
Letting their kind in here. Ridiculous.
They've come with open hands.
Our people, even if we don't send them out, our people will... They'll stone them to death.
What if I cleared out we cleared out the forge gate? What if
What if?
I'm going to go try and speak to the queen in the near future?
You're
What
just-
if
yeah, aye.
there was a contingent of soldiers to hold it, and it was fortified by them as well? They have a place to live, and we sacrifice fewer of our soldiers to hold land that I've cleared.
I don't know, Adric. Perhaps you should, if you want to talk to Reswin, she'll answer your questions for you. I cannot tell you what will be done with these people. All I can say is what I think. I think that we should send them back where they came, packing. But if you think different, Adric, and you've seen the world and I've not, then
Tell me this. Tell me this. If things continue to get worse, and we have to go through another Higra, and another, and another, where will we go when there are no more cities?
well,
Will we not be just like them? Shambling, empty-handed.
can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
I'm gonna use my inspiration because actually I'm gonna hold my inspiration for now because I'm gonna need that with Rizwan. I feel. That's a 10.
Use it, use it, use it.
Um,
I still have a jug of wine that gives me inspiration, but I'm not there.
Yeah, I'll use my inspiration. Fuck it, and I'll do that again.
All right.
I'll be back in a minute.
You're inspirational enough times.
Ah,
Adric-
15!
15, all right.
Nice.
You have a point there, Adric.
Jojo's given you inspiration.
Again,
Thank you,
well,
Jojo.
The horse is straight back in the stable. All right. You have a point there, Adric. I cannot argue with you there. We will have to face these hard times ourselves if we're not careful.
Aye. For now, before I go speak to this one,
Don't
do me a
mind.
favor. Get them some simple provisions, blankets, children down there.
It's windy too down there. They'll catch their deaths if they stand about too long, especially those little ones. The
Aye.
wind from the chasm comes up and it's freezing.
So see if you can find some place where they'll stay warm.
I'll see if I can get some of the captains to turn a blind eye, and we'll let them into the city if I can. You should go to Rizwin and see if you can convince her.
Aye. Keep them corralled for now. Safe from everyone else.
Very well. Very well. Will do.
Thank you, Gilthor. I owe you.
You do owe me, Adric. More than you know.
Well, I've got a tale to tell you about a ship full of gold I stole. So if nothing else, there's a bunch of that in it for you.
He puts his hands on your shoulders, both shoulders, and he looks at you straight. He says, "Oh, I look forward to that story." I do.
I look forward to telling it.
You've done some things. I do admire you. But you shouldn't have left. At least not the
shouldn't
way
have
that
left.
you did.
I know.
I'm sure your wife, she'll forgive you.
I have to earn it. And I will.
Out of game, sorry, what did you say? You have to...
I have to earn it, and I will.
But you said I'd have to end it, and I'm like, what?
That's what
Oh God, no! I'm not.
That's what I
No,
thought
I
he
love
said
my
too.
wife.
Yeah, no, that's why I was confused.
I love my wife. What are you talking about?
Earn, not end.
I love my buff dwarf wife. God.
She used to plait your beard.
Nyla's taken her cloth off and given it to Ngora, and she's currently making sparks in her hands with druidcraft to entertain children.
Okay.
Yeah. After chatting to Gilthor, I'll be coming back to where everybody is.
All right.
Okay. So they're going to take care of them. They can't go too far into the city, but hopefully they'll be able to house them for a brief period while we go and try to convince the queen.
Gilthor comes down and he says, so officially we're going to take them into custody.
Aye, custody. Well, they can't do no harm.
That's right.
Right.
And we have
Especially that strong man over there. Gestures at the ogre.
That's
Who
right.
currently has like flowers trailing down his his head and his arm.
We closed down the old arena, so that's probably the best place for them.
Oh, marvelous.
All right, then. I'll have some soldiers lead them through. You should go and see Rizwin. Do you know where to find her these nights?
I imagine she's in her estates.
Aye. This time she'd probably be at the palace. Wait, let me see. I need to get you in there. I don't want the guards to turn you away.
I didn't think it'd be quite so easy to get me in.
No, it wouldn't be ezy. Let me see.
Perhaps you could
I'll write you a
cuff me
note.
and drag me in front of her.
Oh. I could do that.
I can polymorph you into like a
No.
small creature.
No. If I break in, they'll break my kneecaps.
Or worse.
Right, okay. Not that one then.
Are you taking your friends to see the Queen too?
Aye. It's best that she sees where
Aye.
I've been.
And she'll want to know about all the above ground business that you've been talking about, Vaingate and wars and dragons.
It'll mean a bit more if it comes with a bit of
Well, you have witnesses,
Evidence.
yes?
Aye. Oh, well, two of the three have witnessed me.
I see. Well, good luck. I'll let me think about this. So, we take you. All right, we'll take you as prisoners then.
Aye, that's for the best.
Do you all agree to this?
Can we get them set up first and then go, just to make sure that they know what's going on?
All right, that seems reasonable to me.
just there's children, and they've had to go through hell and back.
Naila, you don't have to worry about convincing dwarves about children. Trust me.
Just pointing it out.
No, you're quite right.
All right. Well, I'll be back momentarily. And he heads off for a minute to go and collect some soldiers to help bring the new contingent of prisoners to the arena. And that all happens basically over the next 20, 30 minutes or so. And you go and collect the goblins and ogres and lead them through the gates. And they're looking around like, wow, like this is the most incredible thing they've ever seen in their lives. They've never seen like actual stone walls and doors and windows and things. And Storm, this may remind you of your first time in Dagdagiel when you arrived, because you didn't even know what a door handle was, if I recall. And so they're a lot like that. You have a certain amount of, perhaps up to you, but perhaps a certain amount of empathy in that regard. And so finally you get to the arena and they lead them in, and they have the slave pens at the arena, which have been long closed down. They're just dusty old rooms now with cage doors and things, and they leave the doors open. And the guards there, they set the fires once more. They haven't been set for a very long time, and start to warm the place up. It's really just the barracks that they're utilizing. But the thing about the arena is that they do have provision for larger creatures such as ogres, which will fit in here. And so they set them up, and you guys, before you go, Ingora comes to you, Adric. Adaric!
Aye, Ingora.
You much big hero.
Nothing of the sort. I'm just glad I could help.
You your friend heroes.
I turns to them. She says we're heroes.
About time we got some recognition for it. I do a big old bow.
And she I'm going to make a performance check just to see if she can bow back to you. She's going to try and curtsy. And it's a 9, so she does a pretty crap curtsy, but you get.
She's still got my cloak on as well, so it probably like engulfs her.
Yeah, she probably trips over or not. Just a little bit, not on her face, but yeah. Very well, and so thusly you leave the arena area. Oh yay, we got a cheer from the Crazy Willie.
The Crazy Willie.
Huzzah!
We love him. Thank you.
Very much. So you leave the arena and you head off through the city on your way to the palatial district of Berronar, Fane. And you're as you go, your friend Gilthor, your cousin Gilthor, stops you and says, "All right, well, I suppose we should do the business then."
Aye. As you would.
All right, soldiers, men, cuff them up. Excuse me, madam, he says to you, Dala. I'm not sure, I feel bad about this. I'm not sure I can put you in chains. You're clearly an elf of Hemoth Tirith. You're a cleric.
But if it's the protocol, I don't think you need to give me any special treatment.
Oh, I still feel bad about it.
I'm an elf as well. Why? What the hang up with her, but not with me?
You're a reprobate, Naila.
That's not the point.
Clearly a reprobate, yes.
She just glares at him and makes her eyes sparkle with like fire.
Are you doing the sparkly eyes technique?
I'm druid crafting my already golden eyes to just look like they have like sparks in them.
What is a reprobate? What is a reprobate? The word you just said. What?
An
It's
urchin.
like it's like a criminal,
Right.
but like a more mischievous one than a dangerous one.
Maybe
Person
you're
of
right.
lewd significance.
Person of low character.
Aye, that one.
A lack of general class. Of poor lineage.
Oh,
No
you can
manners.
let that last.
No, she's a
Such-
Talon
Such
That
such
means
poor
nothing.
lineage do I.
That means
Such poor
that means
lineage.
nothing here.
Such poor lineage.
Or you don't come from a dwarven lineage.
No, not dwarven. More of a fae.
We're afraid of the Fae here, so be careful.
Always am.
And so thusly you are mostly chained. They loosely handcuff you, Dala, at your insistence.
Adric,
And then pretty much leave you alone.
drink this. I'm gonna pull out.
Oh, and I've got an inspiration.
You've got inspiration. You're
Yeah,
fine.
Jojo gave it to me.
Okay, never mind then.
I do not like chains.
So when you
It's
say
okay.
loosely handcuffed, if I wanted to, I could get out quite easily. Is that the idea?
you could slip out if you wanted to.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's for show.
Yeah,
It's the right Storm. It's more of a formality than anything else.
The guy I was rude to makes mine tighter.
Probably. And to be fair, Storm, I think they're going to put your handcuffs on pretty realistically as well. Nobody really trusts you completely, but they want to, but they don't. Not yet.
You look dangerous as hell.
You look dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
Have you, in fact, Storm? Have you cleaned yourself since the fight in the Forge Gate, where you were like ripping out people's throats and shit with your claws?
That's probably why I look as dangerous as hell.
Right, terrifyingly covered in blood, Darrow blood and Dwagar blood. Okay,
Have we had a long rest?
I don't think
We
so.
have, but there's been very few occasions to get clean on the road.
Right.
Okay.
Not a lot of water. I mean, you do have your jug of alchemy, but I don't know whether you would use such a sacred object for cleaning blood off robes, maybe. I don't know.
Have you met us?
She does make a good point.
She does make a good point there. I have to admit, I can't really argue that point. Okay.
Must we be in these chains?
The only person who has any reverence is Darla, and she seems to be going the way of the wild side at the moment.
Hey, Storm, it's just to make sure they feel safe. Especially, maybe when he jingles his, I'm in the same position.
Right. So they bring you into the palatial district, and there's not really any roofs, or every wall goes from the floor to the ceiling of the cavern. But you do have walls that are flat and built with stone and masonry, despite the fact that they reach the ceiling. And there are like arrow slits and guard towers all built in this fashion, built into the cavern like that as you slip through. And there are a number of dwarven guards with very flash plumes and flash capes and cloaks and things standing about, their beards twisted up into beautiful designs, usually with 4 strands woven together. And they have helmets with... have you ever seen the Sutton Hoo helmet?
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about, or if you don't, you can Google up Sutton Hoo helmet and get an idea of the kind of style of the armor that they're wearing. And thusly, you're brought into this chamber, and Gilthor brings you before his commanding officer. And he says, my lord, I have some, this is Adric Fogdar. Adric is recently returned from the surface. These are his companions from above. I don't believe they're dangerous, but as a precaution, I've thought it best to restrain them in case they tried anything at all. Very doubtful. What are you talking about, Gilthor? Who are these people and why are they here? Well, you see, Adric has news from the surface, and it's very important, I think, that the Queen, Rizwen, hears it immediately. It's of great import. Also, we have some refugees at the arena we need to talk about as well. It's very important we see Rizwen. Keep them here for a few minutes. I'll go and see. I'll see about it. And he goes off and leaves you with some guards there. Well, that's it then. I suppose we're in the hands of the gods now.
Right.
Comforting.
Who's with us at the moment? It's the
You guys and a small contingent of dwarven guards with short-handled polearms, like glaives probably. And they're wearing their Sutton Hoo style designed helmets with the spikes on the top and plumes at the back. and they have shields, many of them thrown over their backs, and they look very, very fancy in their regalia. The small chamber has a number of dwarven designs built into the walls, and the shields hanging from the walls, very fine specimens of armor about the place, tapestries hanging, torches.
Belle's gonna go look at the tapestries.
Very well.
If she can, if she's allowed to move around.
Sure, you can walk around the room. To some degree, yeah. The guards don't let you leave the room. Obviously, that's the main thing here. Gilthor says, "You're hungry and thirsty at this point. You had some food back at the tavern, did you not?"
I'm fine for the moment. How are you not feeling?
Perhaps it's best you have a swig of something before we go in. We have some. I'll fetch something for you. Don't worry. He goes off.
Thank you.
Leaves you with the guards, and a few minutes later comes back with a cask and some cups. We've got cups.
How civilized.
Puts them out on a table and pours you all out, a cup of mead. Basically, it's water with alcohol in it, just enough alcohol to kill the bacteria. At least that's what it does in real life. They don't know that. They just know that if they don't put mead in it, they often get sick.
Oh. So it's mostly
poison.
water.
Water's not poison. It's just not great. You know.
No kids watching Water's Poison. Only drink alcohol.
Correct. Wow. Twitch is playing another ad. I don't know what happens when it plays an ad. Can the followers, the people in the audience still see us?
I don't know.
I
Do we
can't see
pause?
it. I can't see it currently, so I don't.
Does
You
it-
do.
Maybe it's
We've
just
had
like-
an anonymous cheerer though,
Wow.
so that's exciting.
Amazing.
Yay.
And Jojo says no, we don't.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
weird.
They can see us, so it's fine.
Excellent.
Oh, wonderful.
Twitch is
Excellent
just
to know
being
that.
weird.
Otherwise, I'd be like, well, let's just have a break for 5 minutes. Wait till
Right.
the ads are over. Okay, so you're in the chamber. Eventually, Gilthor comes back in again. All right. He came back with the wine, and he says to you, drink that up, and then we'll go and see Reswen.
Thank
Right.
you.
Just to be sure, there's just a very little bit of meat in there, is it?
All right.
Okay,
Is
just
that a problem
wondering.
for you?
Oh, well, I don't actually drink that much, but if it's watered down, it should be fine.
Well, there's not much that in there. You should be fine, I should imagine.
All right, thank you.
You swig it back, and you can make a Constitution saving throw. Because these are dwarves, and what dwarves think is a little bit is a lot more than what you're used to.
Constitution.
Dwarves have resistance to poison,
And alcohol is poison.
and alcohol is technically a poison.
That's
Okay, so
an 8.
all of us do con saving throws?
Yeah.
I'm not drinking it.
Adric can have advantage on this.
I want a clear head to go see a queen because every time Nyla goes to see monarchs, bad shit happens.
No,
20.
I don't want to drink it because
All right, you guys
I'm
got to
alright,
find yourselves
thank you.
getting quite thirsty in this city because they don't have any water that's not got mead in it.
No, I'm perfectly fine to drink it later, just not when I'm about to go in front of a queen.
no.
Another
that-
cheer! Wow. Oh my
Somebody
goodness.
cheers tonight. Huzzah!
An anonymous person buys a round for your team.
All right, so Dal, what did you get? Was a oh wow. we
It was
got a
an
5.
8.
Thank you, Denigold 16. It was an 8. Okay, Dala, you're feeling a bit tipsy, I'm afraid. You will have disadvantage on all skill checks, saving throws, and attack rolls for the next hour.
Okay.
And
For the next hour.
yeah, in game.
Oh, I should not have had that water.
The mead in it was
No,
a
I
little
said Dara.
stronger than expected.
Is my nose still on my face? I can't quite feel it.
No, it's completely gone. There's just a void.
Oh no, that sounds bad.
And I'm just gonna boop her on the nose. Oh, there it is.
Gilthor
Can I have
comes
it back
across to-
later?
You all
Yes.
right there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm fine. Just feeling a bit
Do you need something to lean on, a staff or something, perhaps?
Go
Sure.
easy on her. She's an elf. They
Right,
don't
I got
drink
her.
like we do.
I'm going to
I-
attempt to link, but it doesn't work.
To be fair, I don't even have the constitution of most elves.
Out of game, what is your constitution?
What is my constitution? 10? It's not bad.
It's not. It's average. Yeah.
It's not horrible.
It's not horrible. Yeah, true.
It's only, I only say this because she's found in the past that when she drinks, it tends to bring on more of her episodes.
Right.
So that's why she tends to try not to drink too much.
Right. Fair enough. Okay.
Somebody called that woman a taxi, says Wolfton Witch.
Hilarious. Okay. So anyway, the doors open and the guards begin to proceed down this next hallway. There's archways on either side of you that lead off into sub chambers or ante-chambers into other rooms and spaces like that. And you go past a number of quarters that look like very nice, if not a little bit claustrophobic, chambers and rooms, sitting rooms and things, rooms full of artifacts and pieces of beautiful art, all forged by the hands of the dwarves. And finally you come out into this, what I guess is a megaron, which is a chamber with pillars lining the walls, and then a series of pillars down the center as well. There's a carpet laid out on the floor. The walls have massive banners hanging on them, the different clans and tribes among the dwarves, their various family names and lineages. Each has an emblem. Up ahead at the end of the chamber is a throne, and you can see this stout-looking lady dwarf sitting upon that throne. She has a crown and a cloak, and she's wearing something that equates to ceremonial plate armor that she's wearing. And on either side of her there are a number of guards, and beyond them various advisors standing in a row on either side. And you basically end up between a row on the left of nobles and a row on the right of nobles, and soldiers behind you and in front of you, with the queen directly in front of you. And as you approach...
Can I quickly pat Edric on the back and give him guidance?
Yes.
Okay. It's like, you got this, buddy.
Okay. One moment.
Vala means to whisper it, and she says, "How pretty!" It's probably just a little bit too loud.
I like drunk Darla.
Storm will just stand beside her in case it gets worse.
She's gonna get a big paw over her face, isn't she? No, he's just gonna use his tail, and it's just gonna go up here. And then you're gonna sneeze.
As you're talking, as you're doing these minor intricacies, speaking to each other and such, passing on guidance and so forth, a fellow moves over to, one of the dwarves moves over to the queen and leans into her ear and whispers something or another, and passes her a scroll. Adric, can you make a perception check?
Yes. That's a 17.
Drum roll. 17, you say. It is indeed. You see on that scroll the emblem of the Magistrate's Office, which is a kind of subdivision of the Temple of Moradin, which pretty much runs everything anyway. And that suggests to you that it's a legal document that she's looking at, and it probably pertains to you. And she has a look over the scroll for a long moment. And you'll notice during this moment too that each of you will notice that she has kind of long brown-red hair with several very striking streaks of grey or silver shot through it. And she looks up at you after a moment. "So you must be Adric Fogdar."
I am, Your Majesty.
"And who are these companions amongst them?"
This is Gadale Dala Talandaran of the Daughters of the Twilight, and Nyalaran Talandrian of the Feywild, and this is a newer companion, liberated from the Forge Gate once we cleared it out. Storm.
So you are a liberator.
Aye, in a manner of speaking.
I've been told a few stories of your exploits in the last few minutes.
Certainly some that have been embellished.
Perhaps. But it sounds that you have left us in dishonor and disgrace, and you have returned among us an Aesir, if not even Ragnar. Elite
If you say
warrior.
so, Your Majesty.
The Aesir are the elite fighters, and the Ragnar are proven-blooded warriors. These are their titles. But if you wish to have that title, you'll need to convince me of your exploits. Sir,
Aye.
Lord Fogdar, she calls you. For you are now Lord Fogdar. I must say, I give you my condolences.
Thank you. I would seek to lay my father to rest while I'm here.
Ah, then you have a journey ahead of you.
Aye. Though I'm afraid I must act in haste, for we have a war to fight above ground.
That was mentioned to me too.
Aye.
Tell me more of this war.
I'm unsure of how much information has made its way to you in the months prior, but the Barakyle wizards have been pillaging magical artifacts from across the lands of Sidariel, of the human and the elvish lands. They have now amassed a large force with chariots from the Charasith, forces from Dumborin, no, not Dumborin, what's the other one?
Dagdagiel.
Forces from Dagdagiel, and they are marching on Vaingate.
I see.
Currently, Nyla, to us, is the general of an army from her homeland that stands between them and Vaingate. But their forces are growing by the day.
So you then, you must be this Nyla.
Aye, Your Majesty.
You are some kind of what? Lord, warlord, princess, queen, commander-in-chief? To lead an army.
Emissary of the Feywild. From the Winter Queen.
And why are you here then, if you have an army on the surface? What has led you to the deep Underdark here in Berronar Fane?
Adric is my companion, and I trusted my role as general to some very trusted individuals, and there are some artifacts that could not fall into the wrong hands of the utmost importance that were brought here.
We're a very good team, Your Majesty. We go everywhere together.
I see. And who are you exactly? You look like a high elf.
I am
Barry, can
Gadel
you go mute? Sorry.
Dalatalandaran. I'm a cleric with the Daughters of Twilight.
I have heard of those clerics, of the Daughters of Twilight. Clerics
Yes.
and other matriarchs. I see.
And we have heard so much of you and your fierce sons of Moradin.
The sons of Moradin are not mine.
How are they not?
They're mercenaries.
Right.
You must
That's
forgive
right.
her, Your Majesty. Our dwarven ale doesn't agree with an elven constitution.
No, certainly not.
Well, I do apologize.
Hey, Dala, do
lady.
you want to just play with this? And I'm gonna druid craft like a little flower that's like got multiple different colored petals and just give it to her.
I do apologize, Lady Talandaran. Perhaps something more fitting to your tastes can be arranged. Do you have something that you prefer?
Oh, usually just tea.
Bring
Or
the
water.
elf some tea. Bring Lady Talandaran here some tea. And someone comes over. What do you mean we don't have any tea? Well, fetch some.
Water's fine.
We
Ale
don't have
was
a
there
lot of-
water?
There's not a lot of drinkable water down here, Lady Talandaran.
Oh, right.
Dala, you may have to use your jug.
Your hospitality is most gracious, and we thank you for everything that has been offered.
You can stop sucking up to me now, Miss whatever your name was. Nyla, was it?
Nyloran, Delandrian.
Nyloran. I see. Well,
It's not so much a
prefer
sucking
your-
up, it's more of a
If
observation.
you interrupt me again, I'll have your head. But I was going to say that we do not need to stand too heavily on ceremony here. It sounds that we have matters of import to discuss.
Ah, thank goodness Stella sits down.
Bring us a table. And they bring out a table and put it down in front of you guys. Now, you said there is artifacts.
Hey,
Would you like to show the court?
We
certainly.
take these off.
Remove the chains. They're not necessary. What is this?
They were my suggestion, Your Majesty.
Well,
Groveling and such.
you have put the court at ease, so I'll give you that.
So once they're off, gonna reach into the bag of holding and call for what was his name? Israel's crown, and pull out.
This twisted black crown appears in your hands.
Place it down on the table. This is one of 3 crowns belonging to a lich, an archlich, by the name of Israel.
As you take it out of the bag, you see like the change in temperature from inside the bag, and the crown itself, it frosts over and steam rises off it.
I have placed one such crown like this upon my own head, and the magic within it is terrifying.
What do you mean by terrifying?
The presence within it almost split my head asunder,
It can bring souls back from the dead.
and more.
I
There are
see.
3 such like it, and the Berakyle would like to collect them all for a purpose we don't have entire knowledge of.
Out of game, Joe. You have inspiration from the crazy Willy.
Ah, thank you, Willie.
Right.
Right,
says,
okay.
More than goatee, Eberk, come forth. And Adric, you know that Morden Goatee is the title of the high priest, or priestess of Moradin. And this cleric comes forth, and she says, I want you to keep this safe. I want you to examine it, find its properties, learn of its powers. And the high priest bows and comes forth towards where you are, Adric. She says, there's more of these?
2 more. One of which is in another location, quite safe, I believe. And another is unaccounted for.
And you won't tell us that location, I imagine.
It's best if
Yes.
we keep them
Aye.
on a need to know.
And what do you expect us to do with this crown? This fearsome crown?
Hide it.
Keep it safe.
The Morden Goatee comes over and speaks in her ear again, and you can make perception checks.
Yes.
Give Storm a perception check too, please.
15 for me, and I keep rolling 10s. 13 for
Almost a 22.
13 for Storm.
13 for Storm. Okay, so we got 17 for Goodale at disadvantage. That's pretty impressive. A 6 for Adric. Poobum.
Yeah.
15 for Nyla. Okay.
And a 13 for
and a
Storm.
13 for Storm. Okay, so Nyla, Storm, and Goodale. you notice they're obviously very apprehensive about this crown, and they seem to be looking at each other, sort of quite concerned about it. I'm not sure why Adric's not noticing this. What are you?
I'm probably preoccupied thinking about the mask, and I'm apprehensive about that.
Right.
If you don't want to keep the crown here, we're willing to take it off and go somewhere else. This was just the closest, furthest rate that we could get it to.
The closest.
Surely it must be
to
safe
this.
with a queen and her court.
Well, you're not the closest to the battle, but you're the closest to. You were within 2-3 days' travel, and it seemed to make the most sense at the time.
I see.
I thought it best that it was safer here.
We have recently sent a contingent to Uthdag's hold. If you recall, they have been out of game. That's not true. That's not true. They sent a contingent elsewhere. You know, I'll just take all of that back because my notes are not clear enough. Never mind.
Jojo says Dala needs to hiccup when she finishes sentences.
Noted.
Noted. Excellent. And so, do you have anything else that you wish to share with us, Mr. Fogdar? As she says, Lord Fogdar.
Just one more thing. Nyla, would you please take the mask out?
Mask of Moradin.
Out
We
goes.
found something of relatively significance, I think, to you.
And this is, as described among the guards here. I mean, as I said, it was like a Sutton Ho helmet. This is those are the cheap copies of this. This is the real thing. And you lay it down on the table, and there is a collective gasp amongst everybody in the room, pretty much.
And you should have seen Adric when he knew. He just knew.
Silence! What is this, Adric Fogdar?
This is the Mask of Moradin. When we were scouting the Barrakyle's camp, we came across a procession that was making its way to it. I had a feeling that what they had was important. So we attacked and liberated it from them.
Who had this mask?
The Barrowkyle.
The wizards of the Barrakyle. Aye.
Those filthy bastards. There's
So you
another
can see why
collective-
we didn't want them to have these artifacts.
I
Storm
see.
will, now Storm's not in chains, he'll stand behind Darla,
Okay.
just in case.
Right, right. So you sort of shift position. Everyone kind of notices you moving, and there's sort of everyone's keeping their eyes on you. The guards kind of shift the points of their halberds, move a little bit as you move around, as if they're keeping an eye on you and they're ready for you to do anything.
I put my paws on Darla's shoulders.
Oh, that's quite heavy.
Okay. I think that's weird, but all right.
Right, okay. Can we trust your majesty with the guardians of this artifact? Or would you rather us take it somewhere else?
Where would you take it if you took it from here? Do you have
Isle
another
of
idea?
Shadows,
Another
maybe.
place? What did you say?
The Isle of Shadows, maybe.
Isle of Shadows.
You
What
go there.
Isle of Shadows? The Isle of Shadows is a legend. It's just
It's
a
the one in
story.
Lockhart Lake.
Shh!
It's a
We-
children's story, Adric.
I think
But
you
one-
find it's quite,
It's quite real.
real.
And you've been there.
We all
done-
have.
We've done many things since.
But
I
not
left.
him.
No, Storm hasn't been yet.
I see. So the rumors of the lake and the Isle of Shadows are true.
Aye.
And the priest steps forward and he says, "My queen, the Isle of Shadows has not been seen or heard for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Surely this cannot be true.
That's not entirely true, my friend. It was seen by myself nary a few months ago.
It is supposed to be connected with the destiny of the elves. We do not need to concern ourselves with that.
You do realise that if the elves fall, they'll be coming for you next.
These Barakyle wizards, they'll not find us here. We have protection, and besides, our city's impenetrable. The only thing we fear is silence, priest, she says. Fogdar, you mentioned a dragon to one of my men.
Aye. And he's going to reach into his pack and pull out 2 clean teeth and one that has been carved into intricate, beautiful runes. These are 3 teeth that I pulled from the mouth of the dragon Elgarax. One that I slew on top of a chapel.
Another collective sigh goes around the room. Those are mighty big teeth, Mr. Fogdar.
I had a lot of help from my friends. Aye.
I
And
see.
look at his lovely carving. He's so good with
Silence.
his hands. You made me this necklace.
One of the guards comes over to you, Darla, and he stamps the bottom of his pike on the ground on the granite floor. Bonk! Silence, you. The queen will have your head. You speak when spoken to. Are you on mute, or are you just mouthing words to yourself? I can't tell.
She's mouthing words to herself.
Excellent. I'm just going to check the chat for a minute. I'd love to know what people are
He-
saying.
Wolfskin wants me to pull the Barakyle head out of the bag of holding, and I was
Oh my God.
considering it. She's like, show them the head, Nyla. It's still in the bag of holding. I'm very aware.
We can
head are we
only do the
talking
talk dead once with it.
Whose head are we talking about? Oh, the right. I see from the previous few episodes.
Nyla doesn't have Speak with Dead at the moment. I have to wait.
Wah, wah.
Womp, womp, womp.
Okay.
It's irrelevant. The Barakyle wizards were in the, what was it called? The Forge. They were already
You-
down here.
They were,
They're already-
they were colluding with the Dweegar at the Forge Gate. Before we cleared it out.
Now, if I was an untrusting woman, I would ask you for proof of all that you say. You've shown me these teeth, but you could have bought them or faked them. They could be made from an elephant. or something.
Nyla curses under her breath, and she goes into the bag of holding and goes, Barakyle head.
All right. Boom.
She's going to pull it out.
So this
Is that enough bloody proof?
human's head rolls out on the table, or you pull it out in your hand. Yeah. Okay.
Pull it out in the hand. It's still got like its adornments that it had, so it's
Right. She's got like a chain that goes from her ear to her nostril, and she's got a number of other piercings and things, tattoos on her face. Arcana. She looks like a wizard.
Mm.
All right. Can you make a persuasion check, Nyla?
Okay. Persuasion? Okay. Let's go. Nyla's not very charismatic. Let's see. Okay, I've been rolling like shit. Please be good. 16.
That's pretty good.
Hey.
All right. The queen looks at you and she says, "And where did you find this?
The Forge Gate.
You took this head, did you?
I killed the person who it was attached to.
And who is it?"
A Barakyle wizard who was controlling the gate, the Dweegar. They seem to be trying to fix the gate and the forge.
When you say Dwegar, the queen spits, and when she spits, everybody turns and spits. I see. Well.
If
seems
you
to
allow
me-
us to rest, we can ask her some questions. Darla is inept in speaking with dead.
Inept?
She means
Adept. Sorry, language barrier.
Currently inept.
She's currently inept.
Had to take the
She's
piss.
adept in
Adept.
general with speaking with dead. But at the moment, as you can see, she's a little bit off her tits.
Are you a necromancer?
She's a cleric.
No, I'm not very into dead bodies, to be honest. But
She turns to the cleric next to her, and she says something in Dwarven to her, which anyone who speaks Dwarven basically is just trying to find out whether clerics can do this sort of thing, speaking to the dead. And he says something to the effect of certain types of clerics can, yes, my lady. Storm, what are you doing, thinking at the moment?
Look, this is all new to me. I'm actually gobsmacked. He's gobsmacked. It's all new. He's being very careful, and he's worried about the thing over there that seems to talk when it doesn't need to. You know, and apart from that, he's just taken aback by it all.
she's currently going a bit quiet and leaning back into you. I think she's got to that stage of
A big fuzzy cat.
yeah, big fuzzy cat.
That's still covered in blood and gore.
Fair enough.
She's probably patting him now because she's over her fear because of the alcohol.
Do we have any other matters to discuss, Lord Fogdar? I hear you've let in some refugees, they say.
Aye. A band of goblins, goblin children, and some ogres that we accidentally liberated.
You accidentally liberated ogres and goblins.
We killed the slaves' masters and then we couldn't really leave them in their cages to die.
Aye. On our way through,
No.
we liberated them and continued on our way, and they followed.
You know that our ancestors have, for centuries, put these creatures to their deaths. That they would never... They would turn in their graves if they knew that you liberated them.
Aye. But
do you
they're
say
in
to
their
that?
graves. They're in their graves, and there are children huddling around fires now.
You told our man Gilthar that you would take responsibility for these ogres and goblins. Is that true?
Aye. Aye. I would
Well.
like to ask, while the forge gates are currently unoccupied by Dwagar, if your majesty would send a contingent of soldiers there to hold it, potentially employing these goblins and ogres to keep it safe from the Dwagar and potentially repair it of the damage they've done to it.
Warriors, are they?
Some of them. The ogre himself, mostly slaves. My friend here, Storm, says one of them is a ranger. So he might be able to keep control of the area, scout at a distance. The ogre himself, naturally, large, strong, powerful.
They might make for a bit of a distraction as well if any further creatures from the Underdark come looking.
One of the nobles steps forward, just shuffles forward a little bit from the side, and he says, "My queen, if I may speak." Yes, Sodgar, what? Could we not use such creatures here to repair our fallen architecture and gates and walls? We do not have enough manpower as it is to maintain our ancient places and temples and such. She looks at him. Perhaps, wherever the need arises. For now, Lord Fogdar, we will allow them to stay, and we shall investigate their capacity, and we shall decide what is best for them.
Thank you, Your Majesty. One amongst them, Ingora, speaks Undercommon.
I see. Take that down. Ingora speaks Undercommon. Do you have anything else to add whilst you're here?
We are allied with a king that would seek to supplant the current king of Hemistereth.
You talking of Ivren?
Aye,
The
And-
Arathani king.
aye. I believe it would be in our best interests to ally with the new king, the rising king, King Bregan.
And which king is this?
He is a son of what was the old king's name again?
Durian.
Durian.
He was the son of King Durian, and he seeks to reclaim his throne.
He's currently amassing followers on the island that you don't believe exists.
She casts you a glance, Nyla.
I'm saying that pointedly to the dude that was like, it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it to the queen.
Okay.
Stella giggles.
I'm not
a bit.
being rude to this queen, I
That's
promise.
Good to know. Good to know.
Just as Darla goes to giggle, I cover her mouth with my paw.
Okay. Very good. This she turns to one of her men and they speak dwarven to each other. Adric, you hear the conversation basically that they're speaking of the fact that Durian had good ties with the dwarves and with some of the other holds and fanes and readouts of their cities. They had good trade routes and ties and relations. And since then, Evran's reign has led to that to generally fall off. The only, from your point of view, the only kind of connection that the elves and the dwarves have at present, besides the most minimal trading on the surface through one of the cities, is the tunnel that leads all the way through the Banakaya from one side to the other. And they let only the Moonbrook tribe, because the Moonbrooks have always been very respectful to the dwarves and they've always honoured their word. And so the Moonbrook are allowed through the tunnel from one side to the other, and they basically use that to spy on the Orcan Empire. So on one side of the mountains is the orcs, and on the other are the elves. The dwarves are in the middle. Okay. Anyway, please continue. Is that all then, Adric?
For now, aye.
I see.
That's all the news I bring.
Well, as I said, you left here in dishonor and disgrace, but you've come here with companions, and she turns to you, Dala. She goes, "You come forward."
Take my hand off her mouth.
I put the head back in the bag of holding, saying Barakar was it head.
All right. Those of you that don't know, in this particular game, in this campaign, in Sidariel, if you ever use a bag of holding, you need to name everything you put into it, otherwise you'll never see it again. Okay, so you put the head in the bag, and Darla, you step forward.
Very carefully, in that way that drunk people do.
Right. Rizwan looks at you, she looks you over, and she says, "You appear to me to be a noble elf, and despite your awkward drunkenness on our mead, which I apologize for, by the way."
Oh, no. Apologies are all mine,
Be
Your
quiet.
Majesty.
I'm talking. Besides this fact, you appear to be of nobility. Now, cleric. She looks at him and she says, "Cast that spell." And the cleric comes down a few steps from down the steps at the front of the throne, and he begins to move his staff and speak some words in Dwarven. And Adric, you hear something to do with, in honor of the truth, may this zone be transformed, and thus this sparkly net of lights dance about you momentarily. In about I don't know how big zone of truth is. I think it's like 15 feet or something. I don't really care. In any case, it's around big enough to completely engulf Dala. And she says, "You then, can you vouch for Lord Fogdar's stories here and his deeds?"
Oh, yes, 100%.
All right. Now, I'm going to get you to make I think it's a wisdom saving throw for Zone of Truth. I'm going to quickly look it up.
You can choose to fail it if you'd like. It is a 15-foot sphere radius centered on a point, and it's everyone within that space that has it cast upon them.
Right.
Right.
Might as well cast it on all of you, really. That would make more sense.
And it's a charisma saving throw.
Okay, thank you.
But you can choose to fail it if you'd like.
Yep, Adric chooses to fail.
I'm going to fail as well.
Yeah, I imagine Dalla would fail too.
She chooses to fail. And Storm, do you want to make a save?
No, I'll choose to fail too.
Choose to fail. Okay, very well. Very good. And she says to you, Nyla, and you can account for this man, can you?
Aye.
And what level of bravery and heroism has he shown you and your companions?
Monumental.
Yes.
He exceeds expectations at every task that we've endured.
She looks over at you, Storm, and she steps down from her throne now. And she's wearing this kind of long kilt that comes down to around her ankles, around her boots, and she walks down the steps towards you on her stout legs. And she looks up at you. Actually, she comes down to about halfway down the steps so that she's at eye line with you, and then she summons you forward. You.
Go forward.
She calls you forward to the edge of the Zone of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen this man fight in action? Have you seen him save the lives of the innocent? Have you seen him act like a hero?
I have seen such things. I have seen him save me and other people, yes.
She looks up at you, Adric, and she says, "Come forth, Adric Fogda." She leans over to one of her soldiers. She says, "Give me that pike." And they pass her this pole arm.
Would you like my hammer, Your Majesty?
On your knees, Adric.
And he kneels.
It takes a long moment as Russell looks up exactly what he's going to say.
Nyla's very nervous.
So is Dalla. I think she might take a step forward in the general direction of Adric. And she's probably thinking, what spell do I have that I can cast if I need to?
Nyla's also doing the same.
One moment, please. Every time you want something, it's in the wrong tab.
Ain't that just the way?
Ain't that just
That's the way. It's always the way.
It's
This
just
is the way.
it is. Oh my goodness. Everything's difficult.
I'm holding cure wounds in case.
You're holding cure wounds?
Yeah,
Alright.
just in case.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking
My
for.
hand is not far from my sword.
She says, "Lower your head, Adric Fogdar." And she lowers the pole arm to your shoulder, first your right shoulder, and she says, "You shall be known from henceforth as Adric Ragnangar of the Fogdar clan. You are now a proven blooded warrior in the tribe of your house." She places the pike on the other shoulder, the polearm on the other shoulder. "Rise now, Ragnangar Adric Fogdar." Now, out of game, I know I said that shit all in the wrong order, but you get the point.
What does that mean?
I'm a knight, basically.
He's basically
Right,
been
okay,
knighted
okay.
as a blooded elite. It's more than an enforcer, more than an elite fighter. He's a blooded, proven warrior.
Right.
He has great respect amongst the dwarves of this city and this kingdom now.
Leave an outcast, visit a queen, get knighted.
Right? That was
Right.
a pretty quick turnaround.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
She steps back. Very well. You and your companions may come and go as you please. You may take your quarters amongst the other Ragnangar, if you wish, behind the temple. And the cleric comes forward and he's like, but my queen, what of his disgrace? What of his family? What of all of his leaving the Fane? She says, use silence.
He's a bit of a killjoy, isn't he?
Clearly here, Fogdar, Ragningar, Adric Fogdar has done his service to our people. And the cleric steps back and minds his own business. Go forth, Adric.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
You will find nothing but cooperation and hospitality here from now on. Make it so. And all of the dwarves call out, make it so. And, you know... And then,
make it so!
Not you! No, just kidding.
Nyla goes, not you!
Right, and thusly, you are relieved of court and allowed to leave. And as you leave, you are cheered on and taken out onto the street and back into your own custody, as it were.
I'll take that drink now, Gilfor.
Well, congratulations, Adric. What a surprise, eh? Look at you.
I thought she was going to take my head for a second.
I
So
thought she was
did
going to
I.
take your head for most of that entire time, in fact.
Yeah, hey, that's fair.
I have this weird thing where self-preservation has actually finally kicked in and monarchs are scary again. Were they always that scary?
Aye.
Right.
It's not the monarch that's scary, Miss Nyler. It's all the guards with their pikes and their swords and their axes. That's what scares me. I mean, you took on Rizwan by herself. Well, she's still a mighty warrior. And she's been around for a few hundred years
Guards,
now.
not so much. People with power,
Oh,
a lot more.
power, yes.
Also, you didn't know me before I found my family again. Anyway, where's the drinks? Let's do that.
Back to
We've
the,
got something to celebrate,
the
and we need to
nodding-
get you to
not
your
in
wife.
kettle, is it?
Let's get to Meglaya's house.
All right, so you make way to Meglaya's house, and you go through the city. Are you all going together?
Edric,
Aye.
it is the custom of my kind, especially of my, how can I say, my pride, my family, that I should be clean very soon. Is there a place I can clean?
Certainly.
Thank you.
You'll have your ablutions very shortly.
Thank you.
Nyla's gonna go to Dala. Right, so he's been knighted now, so I'm just gonna raise the bet and say that yes, he's definitely going to get laid.
Oh yes, 100%. We should. No, we shouldn't do anything. It'll happen.
What are you two muttering about?
Absolutely
Nothing.
nothing.
They were talking about something
Shush
getting
you!
laid.
I'm gonna make flowers appear across his mouth.
They were talking about.
I love it when you do that trick, Nyla.
All
Well,
right, so-
considering I've just been back to the Feywild, some of the old magic's come back a bit.
So you head across to the tavern. Is that right?
Back to
the
Meglaya's
house. The house.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there somewhere we can get clean first, or are we going straight there?
We can get clean there.
Okay.
All right. As you approach the house, can I get perception checks, please?
You sure
Certainly.
can. Mad Girl Charlie says, how many points do we need to raise to get Edric laid?
10.
I got a 26.
I'm still rolling with disadvantage, right?
Yes, you are, but only for the next 10 minutes because that whole meeting and all the traveling time.
Ah,
Sorry, Barry, you got a 7.
No,
an
it's
8.
all-
Is now
An
following.
8.
Hey, Pycats, welcome along.
It's all right.
Two follows.
It stands to reason because I'm keeping an eye on the drinking one.
Right.
Wolfskin Witch says, Michael, cue the sexy time music from Sirenscape.
Okay, let me see if I can find fucking 6.
Speaking of Sirenscape, now's a great time for our mandatory thing.
Our legally required talk about Sirenscape. Sirenscape is a great music thing. It's free source music, meaning that although we pay for it, we don't have to pay a licensing fee, which means we can basically use it for everything. We could make money off it, which we're trying to do, and all that's really required of us to use it in this way is to say that we're using Sirenscape, and we are.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Add
What-
over.
What does Megara's house look like?
Well,
What's her name?
actually, I mean, Adric,
Vaingate.
you did I tell you that she had moved? That was your mother that
Yeah.
had moved houses.
Yeah, my mother said she moved.
Your mother said that your wife had moved.
I think so. My mum's definitely moved in with Gilthor.
Right.
Everyone's had a realtor change.
Right.
It's been 2 years. I moved house 4 times in a year once.
Right. I've moved on. Let's not get into that. Okay. Okay, so you get to her house, and yeah, it's been a bit of a downsize since the house that you once had together with her. You once had a house that was all prepared to. You had like a child's bedroom all set up, ready to go, and all of that sort of thing. This house is much smaller. Doesn't seem to have a lot of rooms. Looking at it from the outside, I mean, it's built into the side of the cavern. It's sort of dug into the side of the cavern. It's like a dwelling, and you can smell smoke coming from the fire within, and you can hear as you approach. What did we get for perception checks? Good ale.
Adric got an 8.
Adric
26.
Okay, Nyla.
And then an 8 for Storm.
All right. Nyla, with your 26, as you're approaching the place, you hear raised voices coming from the house. There's sort of there's a bit of a track that goes up, steps that go up to the entranceway, and you can hear coming down from just up there what sounds like an argument between a couple of dwarves in that house.
Right. And I can't make out anything that they're saying.
Do you speak Dwarven?
I don't.
Sadly, no. But it sounds like anger is a thing.
I do.
You speak Dwarven, Storm.
But he got an 8 on his perception.
Okay, so Pooh, you haven't noticed it. What are you paying attention to instead right now, Storm?
How filthy.
Oh, how filthy he is.
I'm so filthy.
Right, fair enough. You just want to get this mud off you, and you're like trying to get the cakes of mud and
Yeah,
blood
yeah,
and shit
yeah, and
off
it
you.
sticks in the hair, boy. Does it stick in the hair?
Right, so the fur is
It's a
quite.
bit matted.
I mean,
As we get to the gate and I can hear the argument, I'm just gonna look at Adric and go, I can hear that.
Hear what?
The very loud raised voices.
Is that dwarven singing?
It sounds like they're having an argument.
It's definitely
Now
not
that
singing.
I'm listening.
Now that you're listening, I want to take a brief moment just to say that I notice here we have Anixtra is in the chat here, and if I'm not entirely wrong, Anixtra is another Vaingate player.
Huzzah!
On Wednesday nights in a live face-to-face campaign.
Oh, an extra set the DC for Adric to get laid to the lowest possible.
Only role-playing will save you. All right.
Guidance.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad at dating. Can only go badly.
You're hearing.
Right, what are they arguing about?
Well, just remind me what the wife's name is again. It's
Meglaya.
Meglaya. That's right, Meglaya. Well, Meglaya, you can hear her voice, and she is telling someone to get out, to go. You have to leave before he gets here. He'll be coming, and you need to be not here when he arrives. And this other voice, you can't tell if it's male or female at this point, or where it is on that spectrum, is quite reticent to do so. It's like, but he hasn't been here for years. He's not going to come in now, surely. Just throw him out. You don't need him. You've proven it for years now. Yeah. What about me? What about my contribution? What about the times we've spent together? I know it's been short compared to that, but you can't just cast me out now that he's home. Something to this effect is going on. I could rant on some more if you like.
Where's Wiggins?
Wiggins. You look around for Wiggins. Perception check.
Fuck.
I'm focused on the argument.
24.
So I won't see that.
24. You see Wiggins on the street, way back.
Wiggins!
He's currently playing with some fireflies that are buzzing around by a lamppost. Well, not a lamppost. We don't have lampposts, but something to that effect.
Storm, can you go get Wiggins?
Does Storm go and get Wiggins?
You're muted, Barry.
Goes off to get Wiggins.
Storm, you go down to Wiggins, and Wiggins turns around to you. Oh, hello.
They want you over here.
Oh, someone wants me over where?
He picks them up.
Oh, no, you don't touch me, no. He rolls up into a little ball on the ground.
He doesn't like being picked up.
Don't touch me, no, don't touch me.
Wiggins,
What?
they want you over there.
I don't work for them.
Wiggins, come here.
Wiggins, please go there.
You're part of our party, Wiggins. Come on.
No, I'm not.
We'll
I don't
get
know
you
who
a
are.
drink.
Don't even remember who you are. I've never seen you in my life. Who are you? Get away from me.
While they're doing their shenanigans, Adric's walked up the steps to the house.
All right, Adric, you get to the top of the steps of the house. And, yep,
He
there's
knocks.
a small statue of Moradin near the door and a small bowl of water at the base of it with some coins in it.
He doesn't put money in.
If
He knocks.
As you knock, a spark flies from your gauntlet. The voices stop inside, and you hear a sort of protracted silence as you can imagine them inside looking at each other like, what the hell's going on? Who's that? Oh, fuck.
Miglaya?
Is that you, Adric?
Aye, it's me.
One moment. Madrid, you have to leave. The door opens and there's this dwarf in front of you. You can make a history check.
Yes.
Wiggins, come on, we'll get you some food.
Food. You have...
Food.
22.
Tasty things.
Oh, I am hungry. Yes.
Come on.
Adric, you recognize Madrid's silver axe. He's a bit older, not much, but a little older. He's not an immediate cousin, but several cousins removed from both you and Maglia. And he looks at you and, well, Adric, you've returned.
Aye, Mildred, I have.
He looks at you kind of sideways and down his nose. He's a little bit taller than you. He steps out through the door frame. I suppose I'll see you around.
I suppose you will.
And he kind of shoulder barges you on the way past.
I'd like to challenge that.
Okay, let's make strength checks. There's not really much point in making a strength check against Adric, is there?
Well, I don't know. I could still lose it.
If I roll a natural 20 and you roll a natural 1, pretty much. But all right.
That's a 14.
14. I rolled an 11. And you're 14. That includes...
That includes
That's
like
a-
the everything.
Hold on a minute.
I've got a
7
plus
plus
7
7.
thanks to the gauntlets.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right. He tries to shoulder barge you and he kind of bounces off a little. And he snorts and straightens up and goes down the stairs and walks off down the street. Maglia, come in, Adric.
Who was that?
Come on, you lot. And he
Come
walks
on,
up.
Wiggins.
Oh, food, did you say? Oh, I could use some food, yes.
Um,
Yes. Wasn't there a tavern around here somewhere?
I love
I'm just
Wiggins.
gonna create like a sensory like of little fireflies, and I'm going to lead them up to Megara's house.
Oh, look at that. And he follows you up into the house. And
It's like having a goddamn child.
Meglia is like, who's this?
You're not kidding.
She's pointing at Wiggins.
This is Wiggins. We rescued him from the Forge Gate with Storm.
He's pretty much a pet.
He's a little bit addled.
Where's little cub?
He says,
Little cub with sore hair.
Wiggins? Who's Wiggins?
You're Wiggins.
You're Wiggins.
I'm Rathbook. What are you talking about?
That happens from time to time.
Right, Rathbuck, do you remember us?
I know you from the Forge Gate.
Correct, we saved you from there.
Saved me? I saved you!
Alright, you saved us, but now we're here to get some food. Did you want to come? Should I just sit down? Just chill out, Rathbrook.
He sits back down. He sits down on one of the nearest chairs. I see. I'll have some ale if you don't mind, and a leg of whatever you've got, but make it meat.
Right.
And he sits down and looks about, and meanwhile Meglia is looking about at you. Adric, sorry about that. You probably didn't need to know.
I heard what I needed to. How long?
About 3 months.
Well, they can't blame you. You didn't even know if I was alive.
You didn't write? You didn't send me any messages?
No, of course not.
You've been adventuring. Working hard. Solving... She just stops.
Solving.
Aye.
So, what happens now?
Well, I don't know. You're back.
For the time being, but I've still work to do.
Out of game, I will say that on the way out of the Queen's chamber, she will have arranged to have the guards give you a medallion. That's
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
currently around your neck, and I think Meglia will notice that. What's this then? How did you get that?
Your
This
husband's been knighted.
Aye, Ragnar.
What? Ragnar?
There was a lot that we had to tell the Queen, and she saw fit that no more dishonor.
Adric, that's wonderful news. We can have our life back, Adric. They won't ban us from the temple if you're Ragnar. There's no way. They wouldn't have it. Adric, will you stay? Don't go again. Stay.
I'd love to.
No.
I've too
No,
much
you're
work
not
to
going to
do.
leave me again.
I'm taking my father to Dunboyne,
Oh.
and then I've come to do what I needed to do. I've left the artifacts, and now I've got a war to fight, and I've got children to save.
I see. So you're not here to stay.
No. But once that's over, I'm coming back.
How
You could
long-
come with us.
Where are you going?
Back to Vaingate.
Oh, God-forsaken surface world.
It's not that bad. Drizale, you remember Drizale? He's a business owner there. Got a
I
lovely
remember
estate.
Drizale when I was young. He was always unsavory
Scheming.
character.
Aye.
Scheming. Always had a business to run. Always thieving. Always in trouble with the magistrates. You know
Well,
why he lives
he's-
in Vaingate, don't you?
I know.
He
I
was
know.
Thrown out.
But he gave me a home when I had none. That's actually kind of how I met Dala.
Oh,
To make a very long story short, I was a I was muscle.
look!
really.
Stop for a moment. Let's feast. Let's eat.
Aye.
I can see your friend here. What did you say your name was? Wiggins? Rathbrook? Was that it?
Rath Wiggins.
Rathbrook, yes.
That's not my name. What are you talking
Big Brook. Briggins.
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 Hey.
about? Brigands. All right. In any case, she organizes for some food and what have you, and brings out some stuff and some more mead, much like the mead that Darla just got trashed on recently.
Oh,
I'm not interested in mead. I'd like a bath. It needs
yes.
a wash.
Miglai, do you have a place for my friend to go clean himself? He's very averse to being untidy.
Forgive me, of course. My manners have been so rude to you all. Come
no,
in, come
no.
in. If you need to
we've-
clean up, and she offers you all the hospitality in the world after that.
Okay.
She runs around after you and cleans you up and gives you what you need, etc.
You okay, Adric?
Fine.
Russell,
Yeah.
Insight check.
while I'm cleaning up,
same.
my character's thinking about how interesting the Winter Queen has an army here. Dagdagil is in the middle of a war. And there's an island with a lot going in his head now.
Right.
Yeah, you got a dump of all this high tier information.
Right. You've just found out an enormous amount of politics about the world that you didn't know.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
But you have met the Queen of Dagdagil.
He
Yes,
probably
I
sits
have.
in a bath and is just like, whoa. I got a 19 on my insight check towards you, Adric.
Yeah,
He's
I got
not
a 15.
okay.
Yeah.
Aw.
But you know, he expected this. He expected her to have moved on.
But it's okay to be not okay.
Yeah, no, he's okay. He's not okay, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If you want, I can go beat him up.
Oh no, if anyone's going to beat him up, it's me.
Right.
But
Just
that
fig-
it won't come to that.
Okay. But just so you know, I will do it.
I know you.
I could scare him. I could
I
turn
believe
into a
you.
direwolf and just like pop out of behind an alleyway.
It's okay. I think I scared him enough on his way out.
Okay. I will do the cat thing.
Yeah.
Get all the water off me, dry myself. Yep, as much as I can. And then come out and
Join the party.
join the party.
All right. Well,
You're looking a lot fluffier.
Yes, I'm looking forward to a bath later as well.
so those of you who don't know, if you're in the audience, Storm is a tiger-like tabaxi or tabaxi, depending on how you say it. I believe the correct term is tabaxi.
Yes.
Because it is based on a South American word, and that's how they say it.
Is
Oh,
it good to mention that my home world here is Dagdagil?
Right.
Dagdagil.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. So, what does that mean for you?
It means as long as my friends and family in Dagdagil are safe, I am with you.
Well, we have no intention of sacking Dagdagil anytime soon. They're attacking Vaingate.
However, if you wish to know something of Dagdagil, I can tell you that much.
I see.
That might be very good information.
It's true.
Sorry, my voice. Good God, the ale changes your voice tones.
Aye. Why do you think we sound like this?
I just thought it was your natural gruffness.
No, it's like gargling stones.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Good to know.
I have a very embarrassing thing to ask.
You're among friends.
You've seen all my dirty laundry, so you may as well.
Can someone brush me, please?
Yes. Both Nyla and Dyla just go, yeah.
Wow. Wow, you just got fans. Remarkable. Okay, so you're going to brush the tabashi.
Yes.
Very well. Let's see whether Maglia is in on this. Yeah. Yeah, she's pretty keen to get involved with the
Nyla's
brushing
gonna
of the
plait
cat person.
some snowdrops through your fur as she brushes you.
Wow. So, okay, so long story short is you catch up. You tell stories. You spend the evening telling stories and tales. And getting to know each other again, and you find out, cousin Bla's done this and cousin Bla's done that. So and so actually did have a child that survived. Yay them! Congratulations. They don't, other times, you're hearing about various other cousins and family members who, she just trails off, and
Where's
what's
Wiggins?
happened. Wiggins goes to the bathroom at some point and disappears.
Motherfucker.
I love him.
And
Nyla's preoccupied doing flowers, and then she goes, where the fuck's Wiggins?
finally, there is a perception check for everybody.
Ooh.
Has the effects of the alcohol worn off?
It depends whether you're still drinking or not.
No, she hasn't had any more to drink. She's afraid of the
Adric's
water
definitely
now.
Drinking.
23 for me, and
10 for
21 for Storm.
All right.
You both rolled high.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I rolled with an advantage and I only got 11.
Wow, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
So
We've all been there.
I've been
Maybe
middle
I'm
of the
still
road the
drunk.
whole episode, and I've got a +7. I know the feels.
all right.
We do need to put a bell on Wiggins Wolfskin Rich. That is a very good idea.
A bell on him. You're gonna put a bell on the tabashi? Is that what
No, on
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Oh, on Wiggins.
So we know where he is at all times.
Bell on the
I have
tobacco.
a bell. Anyway.
No, he's already got the Tabashi's got flowers through his hair. He doesn't need any
I
bells.
see. So what do we get for our perception checks? We got a 23, a 10, and 11.
And a 21 for Storm.
Fuck. Okay, so Nyla and Storm, you hear somebody approaching down the street, and kind of a little bit of a angry kind of snigger and noise and shuffling, and then shuffling up the stairs, and
I'm going to open the door.
You open the door to find Madrid Silveraxe there, indeed carrying a great axe over his shoulder. And he says, I am here for Adric Fogdar, please.
Oh, you know.
mind. I challenge you, Fogdar. I challenge you to combat.
Are you sure
On
about
what
that?
grounds?
Because he's boning his wife.
No.
You stay out of it, you elves. Nothing to do with you. This is
Adric
between
stands
me
up.
and Adric.
Maclea, does this sort of thing happen in Dwarven society?
I'm afraid it does.
But you're a grown woman. You can make your own choices.
So can he.
I'm going to turn into a direwolf.
Don't worry, Nyla.
Transformers.
Margaret, I've had a long, long road. Are you sure you want to do this?
He
I'm
stumbles
quite ready
slightly,
to forgive you.
and you can smell his breath, his alcoholic breath. You forgive me. I
Aye.
don't forgive you, he says, poking your chest. You go away for years at a time and you come back here like you're just God's graces here in the name of Moradin, are you? And you've such a big hero now, are you? Why don't you come outside and prove it? I don't give a damn what kind of Ragnangar you've become.
After you.
He stumbles his way down the stairs and hefts his axe off.
Adric follows.
Are you sure you want to do this, Adric?
I'll come walking down, 'cause, you know.
I can cast hold person on him.
No. That would dishonor me. Don't you?
One-on-one combat it is, alright, Megara. More ale, I believe, is needed. Also,
Yes,
10
actually, I
10
think I
gold
need
on
this as
Adric.
well.
I'll be back soon.
Oh, we're going to watch.
I know.
All right, Adric, I'll have initiative from you.
Okie dokie.
Guidance.
That's a D4, right? Son of a.
Guidance is a D4.
Guidance is a D4.
All right, so that's a 5 plus. That's an 8.
So 8 for initiative.
Yeah.
Do you want to borrow my inspiration?
Now
I've got an inspiration. I'm not fussed.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Okay. Well, what the hell? Now it's telling me I can't use the stat block. Fuck you, D&D Beyond.
Why? Why is it saying you can't use it?
Apparently it's from Storm King's Thunder, and I don't happen to have that. But up until recently, I've had access to it. So somebody must have been sharing it with me, and now it's run out.
Oh
changed or something.
no.
That's fine. I'm gonna make some shit up.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay. Oh shit. That's right. I need combat music.
So hold my beer while I make up some dwarf shit.
Right, okay. So, what exactly are the rules of this, Megara?
We kill each other.
Right, okay.
You'll notice that some of his friends have started coming down the street as well, and they're beginning to kind of cluster around. And a few more dwarves from the other direction are heading down the street in this direction as well, from various houses and things, as people popping out and hearing all of this commotion. And there's about 20 people converging on this point as you're standing about. In any case, he swings at you, comes charging at you with his axe. Ah, die, Fogdar! Woof, and he swings at you, and you easily parry it. And he swings again, and you again easily parry it. It's your turn.
Adric is going to use his bonus action to enlarge.
Okay.
I'm not fucking with this guy. I've had such a long road. I finally got home. I'm going to bury him for all of my hometown to see.
Okay. Fair.
If cats could smile, that's what he's doing.
All right.
Have you heard of the Cheshire Cat? They definitely can.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right, the Cheshire Cat.
Dalla not just McLean says, I love it when he does that.
Well, Dalla, are you aware of the fact that they're trying to kill each other?
I don't think she is really. I mean,
She
I
thinks
think-
it's all fun and
Dalla,
games.
the life domain cleric of the Daughters of Twilight. She's all good with this? Okay.
no, she's like, Adric won't let this go far.
Okay, fair enough.
Nyla's sitting there with like a good casket of ale and is pouring Storm a drink and just watching, just keeping an eye.
And by the way, she meant the biggest, gigantic thing.
Adric, are you trying to intimidate him?
I'm not trying to. If he feels intimidated, that's on him.
Do you want to make an intimidation check using strength as your modifier?
Okay. That's a natural 20 for 27.
Russell?
Do you want to know what I just rolled?
What'd you roll?
Is it a 1?
Natural 1. Okay, he drops his axe and proceeds to urinate in his pants. And he staggers backwards away from you.
No, Mantrid. Pick it up.
He's petrified. He can't move. No.
You wanted this. You wanted my wife. Adric's going to use his action surge to use Earth Tremor.
Okay.
I need him to make a Dex 15 saving throw.
Dex 15 saving throw?
Yeah.
You're all a 17.
That's okay. Let me see if he takes any damage.
He staggers around though in the earth tremor, and you know what? He's drunk. He's disadvantaged. He still rolls a 16, so
That's okay.
Still manages to stay on his feet. But your earth tremor certainly goes off and impresses everybody.
And then I'm going to swing at him with my hammer.
Okay, roll to hit.
And I'm watching for any relatives that might take his,
24 to hit.
You hit. Are you doing lethal damage?
Not lethal, but I am hitting him hard.
All right.
That's 13 plus my giant smite. I want to knock him out at the very least.
Tyler, have you got any diamonds handy?
14.
Yes, I
and
do.
then my second attack.
You might need them.
Okay.
That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. That is a 17 damage, and he's going to take an extra 2d6 fire damage, because I'm using my fire rune.
Okay.
I'm a Ragnar. I'm sorry. There's honor that comes with the station. This man's getting hurt. That's 4 damage, and I need him to make a need him to make a 15 strength saving throw.
15 strength saving throw. 16.
Okay. It's just chains come out, wrap around him, and then they just fizzle away.
Right. He sort of flails around and tries to get away from them, rips out of some of them, staggering around on the ends of the earth tremor, and he dives for the axe, rolls and grabs it, and begins to stand up, but he's shaking as you loom over him. Are your eyes blazing, anything like that at this point?
Yeah, I think they are. I think like this molten bronze.
Molten bronze, very well. He tries to hit you. He rolls a 3, so he's not doing very well with his first attack, and then he rolls a 7, so he's definitely not hitting. You're just easily parrying aside his feeble blows. Is terrified of you right now. Your turn.
Excellent. All right, so first of 2 attacks coming in at a... Ooh, that was almost a nat 20. God, that's a 26 to hit.
People are calling out down the street, go and fetch so-and-so, go and fetch so-and-so, get the guards, go and get blah, blah, blah. Everybody's just calling for more people, and now there's like every house is people are pouring out of the houses.
Be funny if they call my gran. That's 19 damage.
19 damage.
First attack and second attack. So that's 27. And that is another 16 damage.
So 16 damage after the 25 you did in the last round.
I think oh god, what was in the last round? Sorry.
You did 25 in the last round. I added that up.
Did I? Okay, then yeah.
Yeah.
Now 16 on top of that.
Okay, so that is 36.
It was 16 for that last attack, and the one prior to that. Oh, come on, dice log. That was 19, and that last and the attack prior to that. So a total of 35, I think.
35. Okay, I'll take that. Excellent. All right, he's staggered by that last blow, and he nearly just falls over, but he has enough gumption just to swing back, and especially now that there's people around. 22 to hit.
22 hits, but I'm going to flash with my my runic shield.
Okay, so that causes him to re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so his next... You're natural 1.
So like comes in, and then it's a flash of gold as I blast his axe away.
Yeah, and you literally just smash the head of the axe off the handle, and it goes clattering across the cobblestone, sparking as it does. Lightning comes down your visage, down your body, and earths into the cobbles.
And then... Oh, sorry, you go?
He puts his hands up, he says, I surrender, Fogda, I surrender, no more, no more!
Adric hefts his hammer and swings it down and stops just before it hits.
He
Never.
winces at you.
Never come here again.
Yes,
Go.
Lord. Yes, Lord. He stands up and he staggers off into the darkness, and his friends and what have you folding around him and carrying him away. You hear something about you'll be exiled now. You won't be able to live here anymore.
Right, well, that was a...
Who's they saying that to? Me or him?
Him.
Right.
Maglia
Anyone else
stands-
want a drink?
You see
I could
Maglia at
use
the
a
top
cup
of the stairs, and she... Can you make a perception check, everyone?
Perception.
That was a fantastic
14.
display of self-control, Adric.
17. And Storm got a 7.
Storm,
10.
you don't notice these human type emotions in these dwarves, but everybody else will notice that Maglia is sniffing tears back.
Is she pissed
She-
or is she sad?
Was she
she's-
scared?
She's wiping the tears away. She was afraid, and she's sad. I mean, the thing is, she did have a 3-month-long relationship with this fellow.
Yeah.
Because of extenuating circumstances, because
Yeah.
she didn't know Adric was going to turn up. So she does care about him, but she also kind of realizes
She's in a
that-
weird position.
Yeah, no, and Adric understands that. He's not angry at her.
right.
And he was willing to let this guy just go. But he started it. I'm going to finish it.
Right. Right. So what are you guys going to do at this point? Maglia, she's just standing there at the top of the stairs, and the other dwarves, various dwarves start coming up to you, Adric, and they're clapping and cheering to you, and there's a lot of almost...
No,
Festive.
none of that. None of that.
Um,
This isn't an occasion to be celebrating. Never.
What is it that you did, Adric? How did you do that? You became a giant like the Dwegar. Did you learn that from killing Dwegar?
No, I learned it here, actually.
You learned it here. Oh.
It-
They start asking you lots of questions about
No, please,
your training.
please.
And
I don't have time.
Maglia
Thank
comes
you.
down the steps. Oi, you all lot, get out of here. We don't have time for this. This is our property. Be gone. And she shoos them away and starts yelling at them, and she's quite rude actually to some of them.
So looking down at her, would you like me to go?
No, Adric, why would I want you to go? You're here now. We've had a nice night together, you and your companions, and my new house. I want to learn more about you and where you've been and what you've done. And your companions.
There's much to tell still.
Besides, my comb is still in that cat's fur.
So, and he slowly returns to his normal height.
Okay, so you sort of shrink back down to normal size. All right.
Do you want to be left alone? We can go back to the inn if you'd like some
Yes.
time.
Aye.
You
To
hear Wiggins
reacquaint
say-
yourselves.
I'm saying it to Meglia
Right.
mostly, and also looking at Edric. Would you like some time to get reacquainted?
If that's okay with you, he says this looking at Maglaya.
She nods and smiles. Come on inside, Adric. Let us-
Wiggins! Get your butt back out here!
What?
We're leaving!
We're going to the tavern.
The tavern! Yes! He comes jumping down the stairs. Off to see the tavern.
Why are we going to the tavern?
We're going to drink, you fool. What else would we be doing at the tavern?
We're
I'll
going
tell
to
you on
find
the way.
rooms.
And I'm going to take the comb out of his fur, and I'm going to give it to Meglia. I'm going to pat Edric on the head, and give him guidance, and then run away.
You gonna guide this dick?
Good luck.
Right. Okay, so you guys head back to the tavern.
Oh, I get you. Mating, huh? Mating.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough.
We don't say that out loud,
I
but we're
recent-
going to go get drunk.
I recently watched Willow, the 80s fantasy movie Willow again. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
It's a really good film. It still stands up. It's got Val Kilmer in it. I love Val Kilmer.
Ooh, I'll
It's like-
definitely have to watch it.
Yeah, one of the lines in there is like, "Wanna breed?"
Wow. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, we're going. And it's just Edric and Meglia now.
All right. So Adric and Meglia in the house. Come in, Adric. You can take your boots off now, you know.
Oh,
You know,
habit.
Adric, sit down. Let me take them off you. Your feet must be weary.
Thank you.
Have you...
Fade to black.
Oh, not fade to black.
She says, you seem to have some calluses here you didn't have before. Would you like me to scrub them off?
No, I earned those, and I still have much marching ahead of me.
Ah, well,
You
my
don't need
back's
to
still
base.
out if you remember that the way you used to lift me up from behind and crack me back down in the
Aye.
lower quarter there. Could you do that for me? I'm sure you're very strong now. You imagine if you were to do that thing you did.
Well, I have to be careful not to crush you. Aye.
You have to be careful not to bash your head on the ceiling too.
Oh, I only do that when I need to.
You don't do it by accident then.
No, the first few times, aye.
You wouldn't do it if you got excited.
Would you like me to?
And it's 10 o'clock. We can end there. That's
Fade to black.
fade to black. Let's raid somebody.
And on that note,
On that note,
I
Nyla
love
wins
it.
a gold
So
piece. I think
good.
it is.
and on that note, Nyla got 10 gold pieces.
20. I put down.
You got 20 gold pieces out of that.
Yeah.
Wow, 20 gold pieces.
I was invested, man. I was invested.
Right. Let me see what we have here. Let's see who's raidable this evening. How's our audience? Let's check up on you guys. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? I hope so, because we did.
Jojo had a good time, clearly.
Jordan says, this was such a great session.
It was fun.
And Extra says, take your boots off, but you can leave your hat on.
I love it.
Hilarious.
Oh, amazing. That was very, very cool. And I'm very, very glad. And I'm just writing in my notes, Edric, fade to black.
Let's go and raid Captain Robert. He seems to be the lowest number of viewers of any of the people on my raid channel list right now. So we're going to raid Captain Robert. And he's always got like 40-something followers, 40-something viewers every time you check. He's obviously very popular. I haven't watched too much of his stuff. So
He's actually, it's quite interesting to watch because they have like the maps up and everything, so you can actually see what's going on. It's not all theatre of the mind.
Right, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And he always gives us a shout out whenever we raid him, so it's always a good time.
Hey.
Okay, guys, let's go. Raid starts in...
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep,
Thank
you for
you,
watching.
bye-bye.
We'll
See you guys. I won't see you next week, but I'll see you the week after
Oh, sorry,
because
see
I'm
you
away.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Here we go. Boom. Okay, and
Alrighty, I'm going to go use the bathroom.